is 2020 Sports, brought to you by Window Nation. Buy 4 windows, get 4 free, plus get no payments or interest for 2 years. This offer ends soon, so schedule your quote right now at windownation.com. Cavaliers 2-0 after the trade to land James Harden from the Clippers. Head coach Kenny asked how Harden's been able to adjust so quickly to what the Cavs are trying to do.
High IQ, elite IQ. That helps everything. Our schemes are pretty simple, but he puts the chess pieces there. He's coaching the guys through we have the plays that we run, but it's the details, and he's a detail guy, and Don is too. Both those guys, and now they're communicating.
Cavs back to work tonight, going to entertain the Washington Wizards at Rocket Arena. Cavs coming off a 5-game road trip. They won the last 4. Harden's going to make his home debut at Rocket Arena. Reports say the Browns hiring Byron Storer to be their new special teams coordinator. Storer spent the last 3 seasons as an assistant with the Green Bay Packers. Meanwhile, word is the Browns going to be keeping running backs coach Deuce Staley. Winter Olympics in Italy. Women's hockey on Tuesday. The United States blanking Canada 5-0. Cleveland Heights native Layla Edwards became the first black woman to score a goal in a U.S. Olympic women's hockey game. Team USA now 4-0. Advances to the quarterfinal. The U.S. will take on Italy on Friday afternoon. You can now find 92.3 The Fan on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Get the best content from our shows each and every weekday. That's 92.3 The Fan on YouTube. Headline sports news every 20 minutes right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas. Up next time for the Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima here on 92.3 The Fan.
I think there's a 50-50 chance that Monken can make Shedeur Sanders a solid starter. I think there'd be like a 20% chance that he could resurrect Deshaun Watson. If by resurrect, you mean like as a top 5, top 10 quarterback. If you're saying just make him a solid starter, that gets a little bit closer. I don't think they want to do that.
Catch Odyssey NFL insider Ross Tucker on Afternoon Drive every Wednesday at 4. We are Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan. The Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima.
Brian Hoyer joining us on the show. Could Shedeur Sanders and or Deshaun Watson and or insert quarterback here, could they have won that game on Sunday for the Seattle Seahawks against the New England Patriots?
I mean, I get the point you're trying to make, but to me, it's more of what Sam Darnold didn't do over what he did do. And I do think with that team and the way that that game was played, I do think there's a lot of quarterbacks, but I don't want to take away from Sam Darnold either. And so I don't know, in that scenario, in that situation, does Shedeur try to make a play? Does Deshaun try to make a play when the best play is to take a sack? I don't know that, but I do see what you're saying. Like that Seattle team, I was shocked. That's the first time the Patriots have really got it taken to them all season long. And that Seahawks defense, I mean, it was just incredible. And so when you're the quarterback for that team, you're just over there playing and you're just saying, just don't mess it up.
This is Cleveland Sports Radio, 92.3 The Fan.
Good morning.
Morning, Kenny.
In the words of I almost called him the late, great Andy Roth. He's just not here anymore. He's moved on to a higher place
I feel like I talked
in
to
Atlanta,
him on the phone
Georgia.
more.
Technically, yeah, it's south of us. In the words of Andy Roth, I think we missed an opportunity yesterday. Got to tell you, I'm not setting out to make myself into a caricature all the time. I'm just not afraid of being a caricature. Brian's answer, Owen just found that answer, we should have played the hell out of that yesterday. Because he is just like, yeah, no, Ken, no. And I remember we talked about it a little bit afterwards after Brian joined us. And then we got to the Nick Wilson audio and all the other things. And I'm going, man, I heard that. I go, I'm like, Brian, I'm sitting there thinking, we talk. All us 3 talk. He should have just said, no, don't be stupid. If he felt like that, did it feel like Brian should have just said, you're stupid, don't do that?
It
kind of felt like that.
I don't know. I thought he was being very nice. I don't think he had a huge disagreement with you, though. It wasn't like me and you.
No. That's not what I'm saying. But I think he was almost patronizing. Might have been the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Shedeur Sanders and or Deshaun Watson and or insert quarterback here. Could they have won that game on Sunday for the Seattle Seahawks against the New England Patriots?
I mean, I get the point you're trying to make, but to me, it's more of what Sam Darnold didn't do over what he did do. And
Ken, I get what you're trying to say. because you're almost begging me to agree with you in the question that you're asking me. But no, I mean, that's what he's saying. Am I the only one picking that up?
It feels so. I know you and Brian have a texting relationship, right? Like you do, but
I mean, if I'm honest, I'm much more close, quote unquote, with his brother.
yeah.
I'm not going to say his name, but
like if it was Joe Thomas, who you guys have, you obviously went to his Hall of Fame induction, right?
Well, yeah,
Joe
but-
would just be like, "Are you drunk, Ken?"
yeah, Joe would do that.
Yeah.
Brian is,
Brian kept
But-
it a little more PC.
but Joe, quarterbacks.
There was a working relationship there.
It's a good point, but quarterbacks, this. QBs can be that can be a different animal, man. They can be not very nice.
There's a fraternity there.
Yeah, they can be
with
not
all
very
that,
nice.
yeah.
If they want to, they could be. And maybe he was just like, yeah, I could tear you apart if I really want to. I'm not going to do it. Maybe that was his version of not patronizing me, just going, hey, I like you guys. I'll take care of you, even though I think that no, you're stupid for even asking.
Funny,
me.
I've heard like Troy Aikman. I just heard him. He was doing a pod with Russillo, and he kind of did the same thing. Like you can tell exactly.
Was this about the Instagram or?
No, that
okay.
did not come up. Well,
I
actually,
get the point you're trying to make.
Ryan did explain that later. Yeah, the Instagram just does some wild things late at night.
Well, he didn't share it because you can't do that sort of thing on Instagram. So he just posted his own. Somebody sent him the picture, and he just decided, yeah, I'm just going to post this. And that was something.
Which is very different from screenshotting.
I've seen a lot of interesting things during this show, literally during the show. That was pretty interesting there. During an interview, I flipped it around and go, hey, get a load of this.
Yeah.
That's something to post it.
Super Bowl week. That's why we can't
in
go.
the morning. Yeah, there you go.
That's probably why our wives would not want us to go.
No, that's it. Well, I still don't think I would make that type of mistake. But, I'm just going to be turning 40 this year. There's still plenty of time left to make a terrible, terrible mistake like that. Anyway, isn't he a single guy? Ryan Russillo?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not that big of a mistake. Anyway, so I thought Brian was a little patronizing, but that's okay.
Well, it's been a national conversation because there wasn't much to talk about that Super Bowl at all.
No.
I know the Seahawks coach was making the late night rounds.
Yeah, he is.
Does he have a lot of personality?
I don't know.
I haven't really heard him.
I haven't heard a whole lot.
I imagine now he becomes a star. So now we're definitely going to be paying attention to him more. But the Sam Darnold conversation was everything. All right, just how good was Sam Darnold in that game, and how good is he in general?
I'll tell you right now, I was over at 8 yesterday, and as I was walking in, the water company was bringing in water, and the guy who was delivering it, very nice man, not going to tell you his name, he had said, just to protect, maybe after that audio he doesn't want to be associated with this, he goes, hey, I agree with you, by the way, on the whole Shedeur Watson thing. I was like, really? He goes, yeah, in that game alone, he goes, all he had to do was see work. I go, all right. Thank you very much. I wish I would have said that line. That was a great line to say. All you needed to do was turn in a C and you would have passed and would have been fine. That's all I was trying to. He illustrated the entire point in passing. And I go, I've had an argument with you for an hour. And I was like,
you just do that then?
I didn't think of it.
I think part of it is
I did not think of it.
I've just
show why you didn't
seen
win.
so much bad quarterback play that I'm like, man, I think so many guys would have flubbed that C work and turned it an F.
Well, it was
under the bright lights and the big moments.
I know
A C's easy to get when you're trying to get an A. But when you go in going, I'll just get a C.
You get an F.
But I think
Sometimes you get an F.
many people kind of misunderstood it. I wasn't saying Shedeur Sanders or Deshaun Watson could lead the Seahawks throughout the year to the Super Bowl.
Win the Rams game.
I heard what Jonathan and Albert Breer were talking about yesterday, and I was like, no, this is a totally great point. He had to play really well in the NFC Championship game. He had to play really well throughout the year. But I was saying in that game in particular, I thought basically all you had to do was turn around and hand the ball off and try to eliminate mistakes. He probably still would have made a mistake.
So you know what?
Because you have to put some threat of being able to throw the ball deep out there. And if he would have made a mistake, I still don't think
here's what I'd love
it would have hurt him that bad.
And maybe this is derivative, or maybe this is the worst hack post Super Bowl topic, and we didn't go to this yesterday.
That's fine.
But to find out what people really think about Sam Darnold and whether or not that could be replicated elsewhere, if you're a Browns fan, what would you trade for Sam Darnold right now?
Well, hell.
Would you trade your whole quarterback room for Sam Darnold. Forget about contracts. Forget about anything. Would you just straight up trade what we're working with in the quarterback room and take Sam Darnold right now?
All three quarterbacks for Sam Darnold?
Yeah. Obviously, they wouldn't do it. I'm just saying, just hypothetically, just to gauge where Cleveland fans are on Sam Darnold.
Yeah,
this is 2 years. He went, has he lost 6 games over the last 2 years?
Yeah, I mean, yes, obviously I think I'd have to. But at the same time, like I wouldn't feel Super Bowl Super Browns over it just because I think that we would have the same. I don't think we would have the same results. I think we'd have a lot of similar problems.
He is 28-6, and then of course won 3 playoff games this year. Did he go 1-1 the year before, or just 0-1?
I thought he might have went just 0-1
in the playoffs. Yeah, I think it was 0-1.
Because I think that's what sealed the deal.
Remember, they lost Week 18. It was either they were going to be the 1 seed or the 5 seed, and then they lost to the Lions. And they ended up going 0-1.
So he's 31-7 over the last 2 years.
Yeah, and I didn't mean to. And some people, because they get so sensitive over Shedeur conversation, and it's like, what are you guys so sensitive for? Both sides, by the way. Like it's some sort of massive insult to Sam Darnold. And I go, no, I have a lot of respect for Sam Darnold to be able to keep your career going. I mean, basically, he was an afterthought, and it was a gag. And then even last year, it's like, well, Baker's clearly better and all this other stuff. And it's like, well, no. I mean, you've got this guy who's done an incredible thing. I'll give credit for him where it's due. I think that quarterback play, by and large, is down in this league, but he's still a high level functioning quarterback that was able to get the job done.
Now, the obvious thing is, what is he here without Jackson Smith and Jig? But what is he here without that offensive line?
Probably slightly better than what we have.
Man, that offensive line for the running game. Here's you. This is a point for you, and just handing the ball off where Kenneth Walker III would take the ball, and, you're used to running backs. See the hole, hit the hole. Mm-hmm. And he
very patient.
Was kind of putting his feet down.
Very Le'Veon Bell.
Wait. And then, holy cow, but the difference was between him and Le'Veon Bell. Man, he would turn the corner and somehow bounce to the outside. That was so impressive.
Very good.
But again, what would Kenneth Walker III look like behind our offensive line last year where Judkins was getting hit as the ball was being handed off?
That's what makes football beautiful. It's a team game. It's a team game. You need these things. You can't just put one guy out there as Superman. You can win a few games you're not supposed to. You can keep things above board. But I think you see this in Kansas City is an extremely high level of Patrick Mahomes being able to shade some of the things. Like if you pay attention to Kansas City, I sit here with a guy who does. You knew that some guys were getting a little bit long in the tooth, and it was time to replace some of these guys. And I think it just smacked to the rest of America that they have some guys to replace. Look at it at a more open level, just more obvious in Cincinnati. I mean, Joe Burrow, if he's not healthy, they can't do very much at all. If he is healthy, he can keep things kind of afloat, but that defense is just so bad. Like, yeah, you can win a shootout, but you still need all these other things. That's what makes the game so beautiful. Speaking of the position of quarterback, Mary Kay penned an article. This is last night? Is this last night you saw this?
Came out last night.
All right, so tell me about what she wrote last night.
And I think this is going to be something to kind of pay attention to and something to monitor as we're wondering what Todd Monken truly thinks of our quarterback room. It's one thing to say things. It's another thing to see how he actually operates the quarterback room. And so Mary Kay is going over, the strengths and weaknesses of all these. She talked about Deshaun Watson heading into the final year of his 5-year contract with an $80 million cap charge before it's restructured again. Goes in to say that remember the 3-week practice window last year? And we didn't really know what that meant, whether or not he was going to be activated, whether we would see Deshaun Watson in the final week of the season or anything like that. Said in December, under terms of the physically unable to perform list, some of the organization felt he was the best quarterback on the field during that stretch. With Sanders closing out the season, the Browns did not activate Watson. So that to me stands out because people in the organization currently, when we're wondering how much are they truly all in on Shedeur Sanders, I keep seeing media members and then fans alike saying, oh, it's pretty clear. It's pretty clear that they love, like, this is not going to be a fair competition. Like, they are in to Sanders for all the reasons, his poise, even though he was getting hit hard, some of the big throws he made.
They're saying this about the Browns
wins at the end of the year.
They're saying this about the Browns? See, I thought this was more personal opinion by people. Like me going into it, it's like, well, Shedor's, as long as we have all these guys, I know we have a Ben Solak article about Malik Willis out there that we're going to get to here. But if it were just these three guys, it's like, well, Shedor goes in as the number one QB, and if he's bad, Deshaun Watson can certainly replace him as QB1 going into week one.
There truly are people in the organization that last year during that window, forget about more time off, more time to heal. Now we're even further away from the surgeries and everything as he's rehabbing and getting his act together with Quincy Avery. His name pops up in this story, his personal quarterback coach. I mean, if it was clear then that he was better than Shedor Sanders, how would you expect Shedor to beat him out in a competition? It's kind of sounding like with some of the stuff coming out of there that, Watson might be back. Watson might be Watson, and Todd Monken was hired to access the elite skills.
I told you when they hired him. What did I say? What did the text say? He really likes Watson. That cannot be discounted. It can't be discounted. And I remember that. I haven't forgotten it already. And that's something that we need to keep in the back of our minds, and it might need to go further and further closer to the front of our minds as time goes on. So if you were making a choice right now, which one would be your QB1 going into the season?
I assumed that he was going to be a shell of himself athletically.
Well, let's hold
following
on.
the surgeries.
And
if that's not the case.
Well, I think you just gave away your answer. 216-474-0092. I think we know where you stand. I'll tell you where I stand in 5 minutes. I want to know where you guys stand. Ken Carman, Tone Master General, live on The Fan. Friends, Ken Carman here for Peter & Company Jewelry.
90 east from 611 to Euclid Avenue is clear of accidents, as well as 77 north from Wheatley to 90. This is Joe Checkeye for 92.3 The Fan.
Headline sports news every 20 minutes from the University Hospital's sports desk. We are Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
Coming up at 6:45, it's like he's never played anywhere else but Cleveland, Ohio. The Cavs are making that known very, very well later on tonight against the Washington Wizards. This should be a boat racing, and they're going to make it as much fun as they possibly can for everybody. We'll get to that coming up at 6:45. If you're watching on YouTube, you're already seeing a little bit of a preview of it right now.
And we know how to put the
pictures.
We know how to put the beards up, right?
Yes.
You're too low.
Too low?
Oh,
There's a
here we
mouth
go.
hole there.
Oh,
well, now you're giving it away.
Somebody on TV was putting that over the nose.
All right, you got to pick one.
Smell hole.
You can't tell me anybody else. You got to pick one. Mary Kay just wrote this article about there are people in the building. Well, guys, there's hundreds of people in that building. I could have been in that building and went, oh my God, I saw him working out. The ground shook underneath my feet when he turned and burned in one of his videos. I'm a person in the building. Mary Kay's I feel like the Seinfeld episode. I'm a man. Lima, he's a man. There's plenty of people in that building. The Browns quarterback situation is not solved. So, yeah, there'd definitely be some people in that building. I mean, look how split we are on Shedeur. Look how split we are on Deshaun Watson. Let's be honest. There's definitely people in the building who feel the same way we do. Whether you love him, whether you hate him, there's definitely people on both sides. So, you got to pick one. You can't – I know we got a Malik Willis article that we're going to get to later in the show. Can't give me anybody else. It's got to be one of the two. You got a real Sophie's choice on your hands. Who's your QB1 going into next year? Is it Deshaun or is it Shedeur Sanders? Right now, I'm saying, excuse me, I got to make my choice. I'm saying Shedeur Sanders.
Well, Shedeur, we talked about this yesterday. Shedeur is the best in terms of best case scenario. If Shedeur blossoms, takes huge steps forward under the new coaching staff, you add to the receiver room, the offensive line, and all that. And if it's anywhere close to Deshaun Watson, then yeah, it makes way more sense to go with Shedeur, especially because what's Deshaun Watson going to want after one decent stretch of football? What's he going to want? Brand new contract. Okay. He's going to want a new contract. And you're going to look at his age and go, yeah, what if he's running around making athletic plays?
Well, if they're winning games and he's running around and doing well, then I guess we'll have a conversation about this.
Oh, we're going to have 1,000 conversations about it.
I don't want to get fooled again. That's the whole thing of it, Tone.
Right.
Jeez.
I'm the person chief among us who got fooled based on his play in Houston. So I thought we were adding a top 5 quarterback to our loaded roster that had been to the playoffs. Like, that's what I thought.
People go, you hate him. I go, I don't hate anybody on this roster. I don't hate anybody in the building. Hate is a strong word. I don't hate anybody. In the Browns organization. Really, in any of the 3 organizations, I don't think I hate anybody, for crying out loud. I don't hate them. Guys, I've been a truther for a long time. I've been a truther since was it 2017 in that draft? You wanted to go up and take him at number 4? I've been a truther for a long time about Deshaun Watson, and I've seen my friend across the table from me get fooled twice over, and I ain't going to let people get fooled again. It ain't going to happen. That's why I'm just like, you know what? Just let's play Shedeur. Let's the younger guy, more of a. I know some people think it's a total waste of time and they get worked into a shoot over people online. I think it's a more fun conversation. I've had much more fun. Let's just start him, and if he goes out there and he sucks, then fine, play Deshaun Watson. I see a light at the end of the tunnel where we can break free of this, break free of each other. We're finally out of it, and you're telling me things that make me flatly uncomfortable. Flatly uncomfortable. Again, I've equated it to Browns prison. Now you want me to go out there and stab somebody else and have more years tacked onto my sentence.
Yeah, again, this was Mary Kay in her story last night about Watson, who's already talked to the new head coach. I'd hope so. I know that he's been in Italy. Is he at the Olympics? Deshaun Watson?
I don't know, probably.
Yeah. So I know he'd also talked about living there. I think there are some Browns fans that hope he decides to live there in the fall. Mary Kay goes on to write, as he had been rehabbing, that they opened up that 3-week window last year where there was the opportunity where he could end up playing, said he had worked with former quarterback coach Bill Musgrave, who was hired by the Jets.
Who worked with him?
That Deshaun Watson did.
I thought that was a Sanders family friend. All right, that's thinking too much into it.
Anyway,
go ahead. I'm getting emotional.
Goes on to say that, and I found obviously highlighted this part of it. Some in the organization felt he was the best quarterback on the field during that 3-week window stretch. Now, you're right. A lot of people in the building. I mean, there's quite literally 1,000 people in the building. If you start adding up the analytics people, the scouts, if they decided to be there, you could talk about a lot of people. And if you want to find an opinion, you could probably find an opinion. But I also kind of feel like Mary Kay's responsible. She's not talking about lowest level employees in the building. I imagine that,
Yes, you're right. I think she means football personnel when she says that. But again, how split have we been over the last year? Because it's almost been 12 months. How split have we been over the last year over Shedeur Sanders? How could you not have anybody in football going, Deshaun Watson's better? He's the best one that they got on this field right now. He's better than Dylan Gabriel. He's better than Shedeur. He's better than Bailey Zappi. You're going to have that. I'm not freaking out because I think that's normal. I'm freaking out because it's exactly the scenario you laid out. He go out there and play just well enough to want to get in a contract extension, and nobody loves a sunk cost more than Andrew Berry and the Cleveland Browns. 216-474-0092. Rodney and Litchfield, you got to pick one. Which one are you picking? Go.
Can I add a couple more things to this question? Or not?
Well, you got to answer it first, then go ahead and add your things here.
Well, I would go with Sanders, but so a couple points I want to make. Well, first one in fun.
Okay.
Who goes out and buys 20,000 beards in a week's notice? I can't believe they got however many beards they're passing out. Well, who do you call and say, hey, I need 20,000 beards? I just thought that was fun. But, yeah, exactly.
I go all the time.
Here's what I want to add about the Super Bowl. I want to give you two twists here on the Super Bowl. If you flip-flop the two quarterbacks, and I know we're having fun here, if you flip-flop the two quarterbacks, who wins the game?
I would imagine Drake May.
Seattle.
Oh, yeah, I would imagine Drake May. Yeah.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's my first point.
Okay, that's a good point.
Yeah, the only caveat on that is Drake May having to. If Drake May made any mistakes like he did in that game for Seattle and put them in the hole, right? Like it could be a completely different game.
His mistakes, he was getting hammered when he stepped back.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We've seen that for the last 3 or 4 years.
But I thought Darnold. This was the thing about Darnold after that initial foray where. Looked like he was trying to give the ball over to New England. I thought he settled down and even completed some big passes while he was getting hit.
Rodney, what was the second one you were going to say?
Well, the other one, so with May, we all agree to this, and I'm not I'm not being a Monday morning quarterback here, coach, or Monday morning coach.
Fine. Yeah, well, yeah.
I just don't understand why they didn't run him a little bit more in the first half. That's what he did well this year for them. He scramble a little bit. It's almost like they didn't think they could run against Seattle with the quarterback. I mean, right? Did you see that? I mean, that's because when he started moving out of the pocket, you can't have a Corvette quarterback and put him in a truck offense. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
and I think that's.
I have no fight against what you're saying right there on Drake May. But tell me why you would pick Shedeur over Deshaun.
Well, okay, first thing about Watson, they had to beg him to come here. Beg. More money, more picks.
Mm-hmm.
If you got to beg somebody to come to your organization, you're going after the wrong guy. I'll be honest with you. I didn't want to see Myles Garrett leave. I thought it would have been the best entrance to the Browns to trade Garrett when he said he didn't want to be here. After this year, I got to say he was wrong, right? I mean, I'd be stupid to say, oh, my God, I wish we would have kept him after last year. Mm-hmm. The guy had a hell of a year. If you've got to beg someone to come here, you're not getting the player that you want on your team.
Well, yeah, because, we go to other guys, and Rodney, thank you for the call. You go to other guys who end up, when things go bad, they make things worse. When you get a lot of mercenaries, when things go bad, they make things worse. I think that is part. I think a lot of this is going to be emotional when you end up this is not going to be the only time we ask this question. especially if you don't get Malik Willis or you don't get any one of those guys. I think that a lot of this is going to be emotional. One guy, let's call it what it is. He did want to be here, and I know that. But he probably ain't that great. And the other guy, it's more the same stuff that people want to actively get away from.
Because you've accused me of paying too much attention to the Shedeur fans from all over the country. That we are very privileged. We are very blessed to have them on our YouTube Live every day. I will not call them the word. I won't even say the initial of the word because it sounds like I'm saying another word. We don't use that term anymore. After listening to Shedeur Sanders interviewed about that word on what his fan base had been called. Yeah.
I can say it because I haven't called them a cult. I will say it since I have not accused them of being a cult.
But I'm curious because all day, every day, I see his fans say, good, Cleveland, get rid of him. You don't understand how good he is. We don't want to be there anymore. Like, we'd rather go elsewhere. We'd rather take our talents elsewhere. That we did him, the Browns did him no favors anyway, the way he was treated by Kevin Stefanski, the way he was treated by some in the organization, the whole reps thing, had been played out to death. Mm-hmm. And then if the Browns are wavering at all about making him QB1 and just giving him the job here in the offseason, then they'd rather be elsewhere. Do we think Shedeur feels that way? Do we think Dion feels that way? How does their family and their team, how do they feel about being in Cleveland right now?
I can answer that in the next 30 seconds.
You're seeing Malik Willis rumors now. I've seen a bunch of them over the last 24 hours. You've got prominent writers saying the Browns need to go after Malik Willis at all costs.
Yeah, I'll just tell you this right now. You may hate us, but you need us. I'll explain why in about 5 minutes on The Fan.
Time to let spin.
team and start packing.
90 east from 611 to Euclid Avenue is clear of accidents, as well as 77 north from Wheatley to 90. This is Joe Checkeye for 92.3 The Fan.
This is the only place to trust for Cavs talk anytime you want. Cleveland's Sports Radio, 92.3 The Fan.
Around the AFC North coming up at 8 o'clock. So you brought up with the Shedeur fans. You said, I wasn't going to say the word. And I'm like, I don't accuse them of being it, so I can.
Yeah.
The cult word. And then you said, well, what was the question you wanted to ask? I want to make sure I don't put words in your mouth.
How they felt
Say it exactly
about
right way.
Shedeur Sanders in Cleveland. How do they think Shedeur feels about it?
Listen.
Dion, because obviously it's pretty clear that they did not appreciate the way he was treated. Not just the fans. I mean, his family. I mean, look at Dion commenting on some of the lengthy posts about Kevin Stefanski.
If they are
clearly they did not like it here.
If they are unrealistic people, they're going to tell themselves whatever they need to tell themselves to make themselves feel better. You've done this with players yourself. You may not realize it. There's a couple of former Buckeyes that you have said have been blackballed by the league, and I'm like, no, we're as crazy for talent as we've ever been. And there are guys there that if they would have been able to be good enough, they would have played. Absolutely would have played. Now, there are certain guys who have absolutely been blackballed in the history of this league. I'm not going to be totally crazy about it, but I don't think we can say that about everybody. But I said this about Kevin. I got ripped for it. It's still the truth. You needed him. Now Todd Monken comes in. I told you point blank, Todd Monken likes Deshaun Watson. This is already what Mary Kay writes, and I'll ask her tomorrow at 8:20. This lays the foundation. Guys, this is we know how this goes. Unless he goes out there and he just looks unplayable, and he has looked unplayable before, so there's a possibility. This is laying the runway here. We got the asphalt out, and we're ready to pave a runway here to making it palatable for a Browns fan that Deshaun Watson starts the season. All right, you guys ain't dumb. No one needs to talk to you like you're stupid. You've been watching this team a long time. When it comes to Shedeur only fans, you may hate the Browns, and you may say, good, you need the Browns. Because here is the place where he has a chance to start week one. Where else in the NFL does he have a chance to start week one right off the top of your head? Where does he have a chance? Go around. Owen, your mic's on. Go around the room. Where does he have a chance? The Jets, maybe, if they decide that they just don't want to have a quarterback and they want to tank it out for the rest of the year. Or who am I missing? Somebody? Is Justin Fields still under contract? Or are they going to liquidate that asset? I mean, honestly, are they just going to pick him up and start him in Miami? Are they just going to pick him up and start him in Arizona? I'm being dead serious here. As of right now, this sentence. He's QB1. Excuse me. He's QB1. He's QB1. Where else would he be QB1 on February 11th going into next year?
But maybe is that why you're hearing so much Malik Willis?
Maybe.
All of a sudden, we have some reports we'll go over a little bit.
Maybe, but that's part of it because you can't guarantee you're going to get Malik Willis. So say you don't get Malik Willis. Say that the people who are saying, he's got a good relationship with the defensive coordinator, Jeff Hafley, he's going to go down there to Miami. All right, say he ends up with the fish. What are you going to do then? You going to give up the farm for Mac Jones? Give up picks and then probably have to pay him? Are you going to be able to do all that? Oh, yeah, with a guy who runs that organization that hates you and ain't going to do any favors for you. Okay, so now you have Shedeur Sanders there. If he goes anywhere else, you are back up. Right now, he has the inside track. He's in the lead for the race. He may lose that race by week one. So that means there's no place in the NFL that he has a guaranteed spot. It's not guaranteed. And every fan, whether you love Shedeur or hate Shedeur, yeah, you need to know that. But here's the place where he has the lead going into the offseason. It's the only place he would have the lead. I mean, good God. That is not, I can't say any more on it. I'm out of words to say on the affair because that's what it is. You don't disagree, do you?
The reason I asked the question is because you could certainly make the argument, and this is just how it works with non-first round QBs, almost all of them get a second chance. I don't know where Shedeur goes if he struggles with whatever infrastructure they end up building here. Like, let's say, and me and you, we've said a lot of good things about Monken. Joe Thomas has said a lot of good things about the offensive line coach they hired. They're obviously filling out the staff, but still got a long way to go on that offensive line. They're going to draft a wide receiver and hopefully a number one wide receiver, but it's a hope. It's a hope. There's certainly a lot of busts that get taken, too, in the first round and second round when it comes to wide receivers in the NFL. Like, do they trust this infrastructure, newly built, and the organization to put Shedeur in a good spot with his career? It's a fifth-round pick. Like, their careers hang in the balance. They don't sometimes get a second chance.
You talking about Shedeur?
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody would trust. I wouldn't. I don't know if I would trust the Browns right off. It's a fresh start, but I don't think I would trust the Browns regardless. Would you? And by the way, they're not the only one I wouldn't trust. I mean, frankly, I don't think that Washington has earned all the trust in the world. I know where they were just last year, but I don't think that they deserve all the trust in the world. The Jets don't deserve it. The Dolphins don't deserve it. The Carolina Panthers don't deserve it. The Arizona Cardinals don't deserve it. I can go down the line, but we're a Cleveland show. We talk about the Browns. The Browns don't deserve all that trust. They're changing out all these guys. But it has to be common sense here that if he were to be cut loose and made a free agent, you're battling from the bottom all the way up, because then you're going to be a free agent and people are going to go, well, I can go with the guys we have. I can go with a Malik Willis. I can go with whoever I can go who's a possible free agent as well.
By the way, I saw Cousins and Derek Carr out of retirement.
What? No, where else exactly? I don't know, and I don't want either one of those guys. I don't know where else you would be cut and immediately be picked up, and you have the inside track to be the starter. Maybe the Jets. Maybe.
So the Shedeur fans,
and I'm probably forgetting somebody in there.
Would they be betting on Shedeur's talent so much that even if everything is screwed up around him, he's going to make it out of this? Or would you rather go somewhere else, kind of like a Malik Willis situation?
How could they say that when we've been arguing that he doesn't have anything around him? How can you say that when we've said this whole thing? I know that you're giving me the other argument and you don't mean what you're saying. How can we say that when this whole argument has been he doesn't have what he has or what he needs around him? Well, we got to build around him. Okay, so if we were saying the word build, that means he doesn't have anything around him. So he's just going to take that talent and go to another team that's bad and it's going to all work out?
Well, no, may not necessarily be a bad thing. That's what I mean. Like, Malik Willis ended up going to the Packers, and look at what that's done for him. He's going to get a contract now based on no starts, but quarterback development under an infrastructure there that might have been best suited for him. And now he's going to hit the lotto based on, 6 starts in his career?
Yeah, and plus, but he was already playing for a team that was much better off than the Cleveland Browns, the New York Jets, et cetera, et cetera,
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Would Shedeur be better off going somewhere else where he's not going to be the starter right away and develop in a better situation, better coach?
I beg your pardon. I thought you were talking about the way the fans would feel. No, he may very well be better off, but if he wants to start and his dad wants him to start and everybody else wants him to start, then this is the place for him. Because as of right now, if I got to play a game tomorrow or this Sunday, even though this Sunday is the Daytona 500, if the Browns somehow have to play a game today, Shedeur Sanders is my starting quarterback. If I have to somehow play a game in March, Shedeur Sanders is my starting quarterback. And that goes all that way probably throughout the offseason for me, unless they really go after a better option. So this is the place for him. So, hey, man, we can get upset and get in fits and starts and cuss everybody out, but you need him. You need the Browns. You need Todd Monken. You need a guy who liked you coming out of the draft. You need all these things. So, I mean, there's been a lot of people saying nasty things about the Browns for a very long period of time. And I've been mad at the Browns myself many, 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 many times over. But, you need each other here. I got a guy in Shedeur who I'd rather play because I don't want to have conversations about Deshaun Watson because I don't want him to even it's really the conversations I have. I'm such in a fight to hit you over the head with reality about the future of this football team with the quarterback that I'd much rather have a conversation about Shedeur Sanders than ever Deshaun Watson. And people get that confused and say, you hate Deshaun Watson. Absolutely not. I hate the conversations we've had for the last decade about Deshaun Watson. When he came out in the draft, now to where he's at, I'm not. I want that done. I don't ever want to revisit it again.
I think you're to
There's
the point,
dirt over it, and we're growing grass on it now, and we're moving on.
I think you're to the point where, let's say Deshaun Watson got 5 starts this year and they were really good, but it would mean signing him to a contract. You'd be okay if he went elsewhere and was really
absolutely.
And hold on, second part of this was really good.
Absolutely,
you'd be okay with that.
I am confident that I believe that he will not be really good. I am confident that I believe that his best football is probably behind him. I am confident to take that risk. Yes, I am ready to move on with whoever else it would be.
You'd be at peace with him being good somewhere else.
Because I have the opportunity to still find somebody young and still be good. And we always live in the scenario where the Browns are terrible because they've been bad for 26 years. You have the opportunity, if you let him go, fine. I'm no longer restricted by $46 million a year. There's going to be dead cap on the rest of that contract, void years. Play the album.
That's half our team, I think.
Yeah, there's going to be void years there, but I have the opportunity to go out and take someone young and develop him with my quarterback, with my head coach, and with my weapons that I'm going to be able to get. Just because we've let guys go and they've gone on to better franchises, we've always forgot you have the opportunity to be better. They just haven't taken advantage of that opportunity. They've made silly mistakes over the last 26 years. Silly mistake after silly mistake. That's what they've done. I don't want to do that anymore, but I can't force them to make a good decision, and maybe some of the decisions I advocated for aren't great decisions. So, yeah, I'm fine with that. And frankly, yeah, I'd be shocked if they decided to cut Shedeur Sanders loose, and if he went on and played exceedingly well, I would be watching very, very closely, and I would probably be watching with a lot of regret, depending on what we do. We would still have the opportunity to be better. But I don't think we have the opportunity to be so much better this coming year. So I'm like, why not? Just let him play. I know that he's a lightning rod for controversy based on just all of us, based on media and our opinions of him, pro or against. But just let him play. 216-474-0092. All right, 8 o'clock. We go around the AFC North. We have fake beards here in studio because James Harden is playing for the Cleveland Cavaliers tonight, and they somehow were able to get 20,000 fake beards very, very quickly.
We're going to do a whole segment talking about James Harden with these beards.
With these beards, we were going to do a whole segment about that later on. And if what Albert Breer said is true, I think you got a lot more in common with Jimmy Haslam than you think. Ken Carman, Anthony Lima. It's fat, it's thin, it's in the morning on the Fan.
Imagine being able to have this.
right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
Catch Afternoon Drive with Nick Wilson and Jonathan Peterlin live on YouTube each and every weekday from 2 to 7 p.m.
One of our wives called the cops earlier last week. Guess who it was? Talk about that at 7:22 on The Fan. See, if they're watching on YouTube, they can see you smiling, so don't give it away. I know some of us married into the neighborhood watch over there. Lordy. About last night at 7:45, also around the AFC North at 8 o'clock. If what Albert Breer said is true, see, I thought differently. But if what Albert Breer said is true, then I think you guys got a lot more in common with Jimmy Haslam than you think here. Because I thought, all right, the head coach job, not that desirable. Still an offensive league. They want offensive guys. If you're an offensive guy, you're looking at this going, I really don't have much. And now you would even have less. The job's not open anymore, but you would even have less without David Njoku now. But I thought, man, the DC job, that's got to be pretty damn desirable here, right? Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward, et cetera, Carson Schlesinger, everybody. Albert Breer was asked this yesterday by Peterlin, and here was Albert's response.
I think that there's a perception out there that there will be a lot of hands in the pot. And whether that's fair or not, I do think Cleveland's one of those places where there'll be a concern from a coach that you might run into a little bit of, hey, there's a certain way that we do things, and we're going to stick to that. You know what I mean? Versus, here you go, here's your grease board, here's your projector, it's your show. That would be the one thing that I would look at. I think Todd Monken's well respected in the industry, and I like you said, the talent's good there. But I would say the recent history of the franchise really is where maybe you get dinged a little bit.
Does that sound familiar to you? When someone's like, hey, we got it. We got what we need here. We don't need you messing it up. Sounds like a caller. Seriously, there's not a lot that a lot of fans have in common with a billionaire. But, my gosh, if there's that concern, I think a lot of people, that's why a lot of people were seemingly upset about Jim Schwartz and calling that a fiasco and everything. Because it's well, you wanted the same defense. Did you or did you not, right? Am I wrong?
Well,
Tell me I'm wrong.
The part that people really, as much as people like Jim Schwartz, the defensive coordinator, they didn't want Jim Schwartz to stymie the coaching search.
Exactly.
And to negatively impact it.
But they still wanted him
to turn people off.
And a lot of people still wanted Jim Schwartz as coordinator. And had he not done what he had done, marching out of there and telling everybody he wasn't going to be the coordinator anymore, wasn't going to coach here, then I probably still would have won. I would have been wondering in the back of my head, but it would have just been so egregious like it ended up being. But I think a lot of people would have been like, okay, let's move on with Jim Schwartz as the defensive coordinator here because we got a good thing going. Seemingly that was what it was. So is this as good a defensive coordinator job as I thought it was going to be?
I still think it is. You got Myles Garrett.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, look, this is the type of thing where had Jim Schwartz have been 38 years old, he's a head coach today based on their defense. I mean, they had some of the most dominating performances of all the defenses we talked about this year. Houston, Denver, not to mention Seattle, New England, and the list goes on. These amazing defenses this year.
Hell of a point.
The only reason Schwartz doesn't get the head coaching job is because of his age. A defensive guy that age, kind of a disqualifier. Whether that's fair or not, probably unfair.
Yeah.
And, he's coached too. We can't forget. I mean, it was a long time ago, so I didn't think him and his record was a disqualifier so long ago.
Well, when he was with the Lions. Yeah. No, I agree with you.
But
he had to get him off. He had to get him out of 0-16 for so.
Yeah.
I don't know. Didn't they have another coach in between? They had Matt. Who the hell is he? I see him. Patricia. Yeah, I want to call him Laporta for whatever reason.
Laparca.
Hey, R.I.P. There was two of them. One of them's dead.
And Patricia looks like a completely different guy now, so maybe that's
brought
part
up
of it.
Chair and he started dancing. That's probably part of it too. He looks like that. Old Matt Patricia looks like he ate new Matt Patricia.
A transformation.
Yes. I mean, you got to do what you got to do. There was a head coach in between. It was a long time ago. But no, I think I get what you're saying about that. Because I thought, man, he got Myles Garrett. Because for a younger guy, say you pick up a younger guy, if you wanted to go outside and you take Aiden Durden were to come here, you make him assistant head coach, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, all right, your defense is going to look good. And I don't think, and I've had this out with a couple of people on the internet here, I don't think that this has been the ding to a career that a lot of people think it would be if you're one of the assistant coaches. I mean, Mike McDaniel ended up being a head coach just a few years after he was here in Cleveland as a wide receivers coach. And we know that there were personal problems there that he has done his best to rectify every single day.
If it didn't kill Bubba Ventrone.
Exactly.
Obviously, guys can still get work.
Well, that's the thing is Bubba Ventrone went right on and they just blamed it on the Browns.
Right.
There's so many guys. You look in the history, there's a lot of guys who are head coaches in the league or they're high-level assistants, and it's like, oh, yeah, that guy was with the Browns in this year. Kevin O'Connell was a quarterback's coach here. Hey, there's head coaches. I don't think it's the type of ding that people think it is. And if you actually have the good units,
they almost give you a boost. It's like you managed with all the chaos going on. So, I'm going to get to the other thing here, obviously.
Oh, please, go right on ahead.
Albert, if it's pretty abundantly clear that Albert has pretty solid intel from people in the organization.
Absolutely.
Doesn't mean people point out, no, he was wrong about this or this that one time. Sure. I mean, guys are not always being fed the truth. And sometimes there's just misses. That's any reporter.
I wasn't fed the truth once about Sam Darnold.
You're right.
But can't eat anything.
Yeah, man. How did we not lead with that after the Super Bowl? You're exactly right. But I think it's
should they have done what they did and not lied to me and actually done it? Well,
then what would we be saying
for a different day?
So I think when it comes to Albert, like you can read between the lines. He doesn't ever come out and just hammer the Browns or anything like that.
Yeah.
But the perception is a perception. Perceptions can be wrong, certainly. But the perception is still, what did he say? How did he phrase it? There's a lot of
irons in the fire, basically. A lot of hands in the pot.
Yeah, so why is that when I thought for sure 6 years of stability with your GM, with your head coach, thought partners, whatever. By the end, there's some cracks because they didn't win. Last 2 years, I don't care who you are. There should be cracks in the armor when you have 2 bad seasons. Guys should feel like the other guy's getting it wrong and I'm getting it right. Like that's just normal. That's a normal thing. Yeah, you should take ownership over some of the mistakes too. But eventually, if you're on lockstep about a bad record over the course of 2 years, then everybody should get blown out. Like there should be a difference of agreement.
That's a great point, but also I'll take it a little bit further here. Again, I keep thinking about what you would have in common, because wouldn't you, if you were Jimmy Haslam or you were even Andrew Berry, why do I want some guy coming in here and trying to reinvent the wheel with the players I have? I have a bona fide, one of the greatest players to ever play the position as a defensive end. I mean, he's up there in the pantheon of some really historic names up there. He's easily the best defensive player that's ever played for this franchise. I got another guy who's probably the best cornerback since 1999. We can go down the line of these really good players. And Jim Schwartz did a good job with these players. We saw what Joe Woods wasn't able to do with a lot of these guys. We've seen what Jim Schwartz has been able to do. But why do I want some guy coming in here and trying to, I got to put my stamp on things? Well, I'm just afraid you're going to mess it up. I mean, I'll be brutally honest with you. If that's the way that ownership feels, then I guess I totally agree with Jimmy Haslam. It's one of my fears that I have. Because I'm not going to talk trash about Jim Schwartz out the door. I didn't think it was the right thing to do to just throw your stuff in a box and get out of here and be mad, because I think he kind of set things in motion to just not be coaching in 2026. But I thought that he did a remarkable job with this defense and put guys in the best position to do things that help them. I mean, Myles Garrett being moved around to such an extent, give Jim Schwartz a ton of credit. He put a lot of offensive lines in conflict because of that. And it wasn't just him. There were other guys that were able to take advantage. I mean, Grant Delpit. I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to see Grant Delpit do some of the delayed blitzes he was able to do, bringing him up as a box safety, and then, hey, we're just going to send him and see what happens. And sure as hell, because you had help in the secondary, he was able to do those things. Like, I want to see more of that. But I don't want to see some guy, and it sounds terrible because that some guy could end up being the next Bill Belichick for all we know, but I just take it as a perception right now. Do I want to see some guy go, I really got to put my stamp on this. I got to make this my defense, my version of Buddy Ryan's defense, my version of Tom Landry's defense. I don't want them to do that. I don't want them to do that. And frankly, do you think that Myles Garrett is going to want them to do that? Myles has got to play it. I mean, these are the guys we trust. The defense are the guys we trust. Offense, it's like, whatever, you can't do any worse. You guys want to go ahead and reinvent the wheel over there? Go right on ahead and do so. It surprised me, be my guest. But when it comes to this defense, like, no, we're halfway there with this defense.
And it's like you want to preserve exactly where they're at.
Yes.
And that's probably why fans are like, hey, I don't care how old Malik Collins is. I don't care that he's coming off an injury. Bring him right back.
So if there's guys who are coming in here and they are thinking, well, I need to do this, that, and the other, it's an ego-driven game in some levels with these coaches. I got to tell you, I got to take the Browns' side. But I totally understand where Robert Breer's coming from, because maybe some of these guys, maybe they do have a couple of good ideas. I have to see the other side of it, and maybe they think, well, wait a minute. Wasn't Jim susceptible to misdirection? Wasn't Jim susceptible to the run game? Now, they had Malik Collins, and they were able to stop the run game, and we've talked about that to death. But that they are not very big on gap integrity there. So that means that they're going to be shooting gaps with the Jim Schwartz
every
defense.
Every defense has a weakness.
Yes, and is there somebody out there that says, well, you guys did this with Jim, and Jim did a good job, but I can do this with us, without getting lost in the process? Because you can change a couple of things, try to change a couple of things, but I think you can get lost. I do think that this is a desirable job because of the pieces in place. But I also have to agree with the front office and ownership if they were a little bit trepidatious about somebody and their ideas, considering this is what we got that we can really hang our hat on. This is why you moved on from Kevin Stefanski. This is why I don't agree with them. This is why they think they're closer than what a lot of people think, because you have that defense that's there. I mean, if Andrew Berry's done anything, if he has a reason to have a job, yeah, they've done a pretty good job. There's been a couple of terrible picks in there and a couple of silly decisions to bring in a free agent. I mean, good God, Juan Thornhill was a mess. But they've done a good job defensively, and I would be a little bit slow to just let anybody have whatever they wanted to run this defense with this team this side of the ball that we've all come to trust. Coming up at 8:45, about last night, I want to get to some of you guys on this. Is this a desirable defensive coordinator job? And step on a crack, you break Sarah Ono's back. Well, that sounded terrible coming out of my mouth. Is that why you wanted me to do it, Owen?
Yes.
You bastard. Ken Carman, Anthony Lima, and bad ideas on the Fan.
It's Anthony.
Fan on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Get the best content from our shows each and every weekday. That's 92.3 The Fan on YouTube. Headline sports news every 20 minutes right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
I've been looking forward to this since I found out about it. Sarah was calling the police.
Oh, yeah. Between the two of us. Now, I will say.
How many times do you guys call the police a week?
A lot. And here's the thing. We're not doing it because we're complaining about the neighbors or not getting their leaves raked or shoveling their... No, it's none of that. It's always safety. Safety first. We are concerned about the safety.
Put your berets on and walk out. And
yeah.
Keep it safe.
What, the Guardian Angels? Is that what you're talking about?
Oh, yeah.
What's this guy's name? What's that guy's name?
Hey, I could win. I could win if I ran with that hat. Come on.
No, you couldn't. Not with that saucy beret, you couldn't. Oh, my God. She called the cops
So here's
again.
what's happening. A few days ago, remember, we were still in our deep freeze, and I think they had said 98% of Lake Erie was frozen.
95 was the number.
95. Yeah,
okay,
we got
so
to 95.
So my wife was running in all those ridiculous. She's a maniac, and she was running.
Yeah, that's why she calls the cops every day.
And,
That's what maniacs do.
she went down to enjoy some of the views, and she saw entire families that were way out, like past where the not the pylon. What do you call them? The
break wall.
Way past that. Like people were out there, and I'm like, man. We had talked about it. We had seen some video of where there had been cracks. And I was just like, I can't fathom taking my kids out there as a whole family. And she said there were like 30, 35 people out there.
There's an 80-mile crack. I've done a lot of research in the last hour. There's
80
an
miles?
80-mile long crack.
Lake Erie's that wide?
Well, I mean, long. I don't know that it's running from here to Canada.
Well,
it might be running from Buffalo to...
Yeah.
See, I thought the width was different. I thought the width was like from Detroit to Buffalo or wherever.
I didn't say wide. I said long.
Well, yeah, but... All right. Well,
I get what you're saying.
That's a totally different conversation now.
But
Yeah,
anyway...
I think you're wrapped up in the wrong spot.
Anyway, I was just wondering, and obviously she was wondering, is that okay? Like, think about what happens if somebody falls in. They're dead.
Well,
yeah.
How are
Anthony,
you surviving that?
You weren't the only one, and Sarah wasn't the only one. News Channel 5.
Okay.
Alan Nosov, he was there.
He knows stuff.
Yeah.
While it may look like I'm in Antarctica, this is Lake Erie here at Edgewater Beach. But while it may look pretty, looks can be deceiving. And this shot from Air Tracker 5 shows you why. A huge crack has formed in the ice on Lake Erie, prompting warnings to stay off. But some people are still headed to Edgewater to venture out onto the ice this day.
We walked a little bit further out, and I heard cracking.
Oh boy. When did you hear that cracking? What did you think when you heard that cracking?
There were a couple times. So once it was a minimal crack, like it sounded like a shallow crack, not like thunder from underneath your feet.
Then Alyssa Webb said, the sound got louder.
Hearing that big thump crack.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And when you heard that crack,
it made my heart jump up into my chest.
Oh my gosh. Alyssa and Clay aren't the only ones who heard those cracks.
And as I was standing right there taking a picture, I heard a little crack and I said, I'm out.
And the unpredictability of the ice is why Cleveland Fire Lieutenant Mike Norman says it's best to enjoy the lake from the edge of the water, not on it.
Even as that surface is frozen, there are currents running underneath. The river is still running underneath that ice. That can create different depths to the ice. It's just not safe to go out on that ice.
And Lieutenant Norman says Cleveland Fire does train for ice rescues, training they wish they didn't have to use.
I think we found your problem.
Yeah.
You've been calling the police department. You should be calling the fire department. They're the ones that do all this. Are you getting a response from the police department?
She was basically told, the dispatcher was like, we got better things to do. And it's like, yeah, until somebody's in there and you have to send crews out.
Yeah.
That seems like, I don't know, if you're a fireman, would you rather go into burning houses or go into the lake to find people in those temperatures?
Well, I signed up to be a fireman, not an ice monster or whatever they're called.
So anyway, was my wife being ridiculous calling the police on this?
Absolutely.
She didn't call 911, did she?
No, not emergency.
Oh, non-emergency.
But I think it is an emergency. Like, people are walking out, and it's sure death. If you fall in there, I've seen the Batman where they are sentenced to go out on the ice. They die.
Oh, that's true.
The people that go out there,
Bane
they
made
die.
them all go out there on the ice. Right there on the Three Rivers.
Yeah, that doesn't look like those victims are having any fun walking out on the ice.
Okay.
So is the assumption that it'll never happen? Nobody will ever fall in the ice?
I will tell you this. I haven't been on the ice since I 17. We used to go to Petros Park, and we would go sled riding. And there's like 2 hills, and so you'd go down the hill, and then there was like a walking path. You go down the first hill and you would get air off the walking path over the next hill, and then you would go land and then out on the ice. And it was always like how far out you could get air. Again, we were young and stupid. This is why my back is broken. So you would get air, and then you would go out on the ice, and you would like hit the brakes on the ice. I remember a park ranger. We did this for days, and a park ranger came out, and he was like, "What the F are you guys doing?" And we were like, "What?" And he's like, "Get the F off the ice. You guys are stupid." And we were like, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "I'm jumping in there to save you boys." I was like, "All right, fine, whatever." And then I think we went over to my buddy's house and probably
found something else stupid.
Sold a couple of wombats or whatever.
Yeah.
But I haven't been on the ice since. But there's plenty of people who go ice fishing. I knew a guy just a couple of weeks ago. My buddy Chris, he went ice fishing down at Atwood.
I kind of trust the ice fishers. I feel like they...
What do they know more about the people out there on the ice?
I feel like they live on the ice.
So
just ask Joe Thomas about that.
So hold on.
Those are the ice people.
So if
they have been trained from birth.
But what is their response? I should say, let me rephrase it. What is their responsibility? Do I just go, okay, Joe's ice fish? No, Joe's like, okay, you can go over here, but you can't go over there. Like,
I think there were a lot of people.
Is Joe then responsible if I go out in the ice and die?
Yeah, what I'm saying is I think there were a lot of people that were walking the ice thinking, well, I see other people doing it. I can do it. And I'm fine. Like, this is some thrill-seeking, I guess.
If Joe Thomas told you to jump off the Brooklyn Bridge, would you do it?
Is there ice beneath it?
Like thunder from underneath your feet?
That would hurt.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I don't think I would call the cops on the ice.
Should there be signs up?
Yeah, I assume there are. I don't spend a lot of time around lakes. I spend some time in the woods, but I don't spend a lot of time around the lakes. So I assume, aren't there signs posted?
Oh, yeah, but it's not like every 3 feet. Sure, there's posted at entrances and things like that.
I'm sure there's every so-and-so.
Oh, it says enter at your own risk, and it says that even in the summertime.
Oh, okay.
I know they have the beaches at certain times of the day. I don't go to Edgewater that much, but Huntington.
Well, there's all sorts of warning signs about the water.
Lifeguards and all that, and they say when they're on duty.
Yeah.
And it just has a generic, like, hey, you could die if you go in the water.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
Right, so maybe it's just
I was taught that, yes.
Yeah, maybe it's just that's the obvious assumption is people know this. But in seeing the people walk out there, and she said they weren't dressed appropriately, like they weren't wearing.
That's a bit much.
Weren't having gloves.
How does
That's
she
a bit
know
much.
they weren't dressed appropriately?
Some of them didn't have gloves.
That's their call.
And they're out there with their kids.
That's their call.
Yeah, I mean,
I guess
she's not everybody's
I saw people
mom.
walk into Meyer the other day, and they didn't have gloves on. Should I have called on them?
Should you have called the cops the people at Meyer without gloves?
What I am wondering is, what are people getting out of walking on the ice? Why do they think it's so...
I don't know, man. It's their call.
What?
Like
there
thunder
has to be a
from
reason.
underneath your feet?
You say, I don't know. It's their call. Yeah, but what are they thrill seeking? Do they think that's...
I don't think that's the thrill.
Is that entertainment for them? We're going to go see how far we can walk on the ice.
I told you before, I ain't been on the ice in a very long time. And the only thing I would think of is, you know what? That's their business. That's their journey, brother. That's their call. This is free will. This is America. And if they go out on thin ice, then damn it, I hate to say it, they bought their tickets. They knew what they were getting into. I mean, come on.
I was told several times in my life I was walking on thin ice. Maybe that's what they meant.
Ken, you sound like you're anti-airbag. Why have airbags in a car? You're in a car. You're risking your life every day.
He's going to watch the Daytona 500 all day on Sunday.
And you know who my idol is. You know who my idol is. And no, he did not have an airbag.
Well, they want Hans devices in every single vehicle in America.
We should have a Hans device when people go out on the ice. Now, that's a very good point that you just made. Now, I wouldn't say that the kids should be out there. I'll grant you that. But again, I don't know if I'm picking up the phone and calling the cops. All right, Peter in Eastlake. Hello.
Lima's wife is 1,000% correct. I don't know how you and Owen are saying that it's not their play. She did the absolute right thing to call the cops and have people get off the ice. That is, and the comparison of like, should I call the cops if someone's walking in the Giant Eagle without gloves? That's not a life or death situation, Owen. What are you talking about?
Well, wait a minute. Just because he disagrees with us, you can't hang up on him.
Well, that wasn't a life or death
Look,
situation.
there are a lot of things that police.
You can't do that.
There are a lot of things that police or firemen they shouldn't have to do. But there's a lot of things they do as a public service to protect idiots from being idiots, right?
Okay, that's true. That's a fair point. That is a fair point. But I think that if they see, like, if you're, where was this at? Was this in?
This is Huntington.
It comes off very Karen-y, and if you guys are cool with being compared to that, then
yeah, but
they don't care.
Being a Karen,
the Limas don't care.
But what if being a Karen saves lives? Wouldn't that be a feather in your
Yeah,
cap?
I think there's a lot of people think they're going to save a life. And
Does your wife call the cops on me every time I eat Taco Bell or something?
That's true.
I'm loading myself up with butter and sugar every day. Does she call the cops?
I don't know.
You think Rocky?
I believe in.
Think Rocky River Police would like to hear that? Ken's eating again.
I believe in making America healthy again. So I'm on board.
Run on that.
Friday, 9:45 is when Coming In Hot is. Hello, Tony in a truck.
Hello, fellas. How you doing today?
We're doing wonderful, Tony. Go ahead.
All right. I got some points about ice fishing.
All right.
You guys, I'm going to school you on this.
Good.
I ice fish out at Mosquito Lake for 10 years.
Congratulations on your success.
If you're out on the ice and you hear noisy ice, like bubbling, thunder sound, noisy ice is safe ice.
Oh.
And hear me out. Ice makes from underneath up, okay? It creates from underneath the ice and thickens up towards the top of it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what you're hearing, the bubbling noise, is pressure releasing. Now, they always say noisy ice is safe ice, and it's okay. Now, with the cracks, those cracks will widen, and then they'll close up on the inland lake.
Okay. So even if you hear the so that clip that we played from News 5, that woman is mistaken, is what you're telling me?
Sounds like it.
No.
Oh.
She heard
like
that.
thunder
That was
from
that
underneath
crack
your
opening
feet.
up.
So that's going to be that's fine then.
That crack
You want
was
more
opening
cracks?
up is what she heard. That thunder noise.
Okay.
Now, that's on Lake Erie. Now, on the inland lakes, they're not as wide as that. You'll have them like 1 foot to 2 foot cracks. I've personally used a 2x12, put it across the crack, walked across the crack, went fishing, came back, and crossed the crack back to my truck.
There you go.
It's okay. It's thick enough on each side of the crack. It's just the pressure's got to go somewhere.
All right.
And that's why they make the cracks. But remember, noisy ice is safe ice. Your wife, Lima, is perfectly fine for calling. Those people shouldn't have been out there on Lake Erie.
Tony, thank you for the call. Earl the Pearl is calling in. Hello, Earl. Earl, Earl's an employee here. He's on the air. He's officially on the Make It Right Coca Right hotline. He's not just some guy calling in. Hello, Earl.
First of all, Ken.
What?
Ryan Blaney or Chase Elliott? That's who I got winning Sunday.
Ooh.
I think one of those guys is going to win.
I mean, Ryan Blaney, I'm glad he grew that mustache because he needs a personality, and that's the closest thing to a personality. I mean, I like the Blaneys. I like Ryan Blaney, but my God, it's Lordy. He has it's just no personality pad over there. All right, go ahead, Earl.
Dad Dave.
I'm trying to figure out, this is hilarious. So, Lima, you and your wife have called the police apparently more time in a week than I have in my entire life.
Oh, I haven't stopped.
Oh,
I mean,
easily.
it's been since I moved out in the burbs.
Earl.
There's a lot of phone calls.
Earl, he calls, I'm not lying, he calls the cops on somebody on the way in here at least once a week. At least once a week.
Understand. Lima, you're a really, really cool dude. Well, what's the point of getting the cops involved? We don't get the cops involved, we don't get the cops involved.
Well, I think she was Earl, she was thinking that at the very least, maybe someone could come out and tell these people, hey, whether or not it's safe to be on the ice, because everyone's assuming it's safe, but everybody assumes the ice is safe until they fall in the ice.
But see, I'm like Ken, though. Like, I don't deal with large bodies of water. Like, it's just, some things are just too extreme.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't make sense to be walking on a large body of water that can take you under.
So you say it's common sense.
I don't like being out there. I don't like being out there during good weather. I don't like being too far out there on good weather. I've been out there on a bass boat. It's not fun.
Earl, to your point, Real Xavier P on X says, how many black people do you think would walk on the damn lake? The wife was for sure right. People are stupid.
Earl, can you answer that? Because I can't.
I'm not walking on a lake. I am not letting nobody tie a cord around me and push me off of anything to bungee jump. I am not doing anything that's that extreme. That is just outside of, I just started flying about 5 years ago. So,
A real thrill seeker.
But Earl, you are in the camp of mind your own damn business, right?
I am in the camp of mind my own damn business. You don't get the cops involved. When cops come around, bad things happen. That's just my 2 cents.
Because, I tell you this, and Earl knows this, and thank you for the call. Like, I've been around people who call the cops a lot, and then they show up, and, like, in my old neighborhood when I was a kid, they're like, all right, we're here. And it's like, oh, my gosh, you're wasting their time. Could have been chasing down bad guys. Yep. Nah, kids, careful with your bikes. It's like, oh, gosh. Like, it was always like when we got in trouble as kids, I told you, Shirley across the street, call the cops on us constantly. Constantly.
To the Lima's point, what else are they doing in Bay Village?
What else are they doing? Well, they can't play pickleball anymore, right? So now they got to go on the ice?
Well, they were making sure those battle royales breaking out in the basketball courts would cease to exist.
Perfect community for you guys. I mean, perfect community for the Tones. Streetsboro, we just let people do their thing, man.
That's right.
Just let them do. We just let people be their own folks.
Nobody treads on Ken Carman's community.
There you go.
Ooh. Yeah.
Audio courtesy of News 5.
Somebody asked if that was a skit.
No,
that was
real.
A real news story.
That was as real as hell. Around the AFC North at 8 o'clock. In 5 minutes, what happened to the game I love? So sad. It's coming up in about last night on The Fan. Extend Technologies. I used to watch the game.
happen around the globe that we never hear of.
Embarrassing. We got to be better on defense.
It won't matter till April. I think we know that. Y'all gonna write us off. We could go 82-0, no one would care.
He's a piece of crap. The kid, he sucks. He's sucked his whole career.
I got rumors about him, how he couldn't please his wife, so now he's divorced.
Put a damn winning team on the field.
Now the Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima give their thoughts on what you might have missed about last night.
We have the official ratings for the Super Bowl from Sunday. The game itself averaged 124.9 million viewers. The halftime show averaged 128.2 million viewers on YouTube right now. I actually checked right before I came in here. Bad Bunny's official YouTube video of the halftime performance after 2 days is up to 67 million views.
I'm glad you mentioned YouTube because I checked YouTube during the break, and the comments are outstanding about the ice fishing stuff.
We cannot share any of them.
And walking out on the ice and Lima's wife calling the cops.
They are brought to you by Scheiben Jewelers, Cleveland's premier jewelry store.
Well, here's the thing. If you want to see the comments, we won't say them on the air, but you can go on the YouTube live and you'll be able to see the comments yourself.
We read them, and they're fantastic.
So some of the big, if we're doing culture wars, some of the big debate about this was that the ratings are down. So the ratings have been up every year. They go up on basically everything.
For 4 straight years. For 4 straight Super Bowls, the audiences have increased. This is the first time in 4 Super Bowls they haven't.
So this dip. So some people wondered, why the dip? Okay, for one, there were a lot of people, whether you like it or not, that said they were not going to watch a halftime show.
Wait, there was a dip in Super Bowl ratings? Oh, yes. I thought that they were high. 124 million is a lot.
Yeah, of course.
From last year was 127 million. So
but we're just used to it going up every single year.
Right. Words Al Michaels, he fell from number 1 to number 1.
Yeah. So is this a big deal that they did this? To me, part of me is, okay, the game sucked. We can all be honest now. Even if you love defensive struggles, America, the casual fan, did not like watching 3-and-outs. Quarterbacks they didn't know. Let's be honest, casual fan. If you put Patrick Mahomes in there and show Taylor Swift 10 times, it goes up another 5 million. It just does.
It felt like it should have really been also it wasn't like it was 3-3 at half and it was a defensive struggle. I know it was with 12-0. It felt like it was 28-0. It felt like it should have been 28-0.
So,
it felt like it should have been a total blowout.
Then it comes to the halftime show. I gotta say, I can't believe. Obviously, people want to see the spectacle, and that's kind of where I was. Like, how are they going to entertain me if I don't know the words? And I watched it, and I'm like, all right, I was entertained. Did I like it as much as Usher when I knew every song and grew up, listening to him? No, no. But the actual halftime performance, I was like, pretty amazing. I don't know any of the words, so I can kind of see through context clues what they're alluding to with Puerto Rico.
And it was still a vibe anyway, even if you don't speak Spanish or don't understand Spanish.
The energy.
It was a great vibe.
Yeah, the energy was there. So I guess I would say I kind of can't believe the rating was as high as it was for a halftime show when so many people don't speak that language. And it kind of, part of me thinks, is it giving the NFL ideas? Where does the NFL go from here?
I don't know. It's possible to understand.
They're going to have Yakov Smirnoff next year.
It's more than possible to enjoy music when I listen to metal music. I don't know what they're saying, but I enjoy it.
Could next year be Gallagher and with the whole
Gallagher's dead
stadium? Could it be his brother?
Watermelon Night.
Yeah,
I think the brother died too.
Yeah, the franchise out to somebody. Time. Like, what could they get away with if they can get away with this? With so many people organizing boycotts, half a political team doing that. And they can still get that rating every year.
Do you ever watch Eurovision? I watch Eurovision occasionally, not like the whole thing, but I'll watch highlights. And half of those songs aren't in English, and I think they're fun. I don't understand what they're saying. I don't understand what they're speaking Polish. But it's still a bop.
A bop?
Yeah, like a bop, like a song, like a really enjoyable song. It's a bop.
I'm just tired of looking at social media during the whole. I'm tired of fights. Put a Frank Yankovic cover, because you know what it is that.
Are you talking about Weird Al Yankovic or Frankie Yankovic?
No, Frank Yankovic, the legend. Okay. Yeah, who stole the Kishka? Put that on at halftime. Because you notice what this is like back in the day, with our parents' generation, music there was clear differences in who listened to it, and then with we were the first generation, we listen to everything. Our kids listen to everything. Well, it's always going to skew younger.
Yes.
So, the window for Metallica to do the halftime show, it's probably ended. They had a couple of classic rock acts in the early 2000s. That's obviously ended. It's like Yeah, so every time I get on social media during the halftime conversation, it's all going to be nasty big argument, nasty big fight. Everybody going to be calling each other a whole bunch of nasty words. I'd rather just slam my head in the car door. I'm tired of it.
So I wonder what the overcorrect will be now. Now that they did this, and it was so controversial. Do they live in the world of controversy now? Is that what Jay-Z? Because he puts together. It's
I don't think that they're looking for controversy. I'm just looking for viewers. And Bad Bunny is, like it or not, he is one of the biggest recording artists in the entire world. And that's what the NFL is going for. They are going for worldwide
But you don't
eyes.
think Jay-Z embraced some of the controversy here? They knew when they added Bad Bunny, this would be talked about forever. An entire halftime show not in English. That is inherently controversial.
I mean, sure, because where we are in today's world, your attention is probably the most valuable currency.
All right.
So this wasn't last night. It came out over the weekend. Paul Feinbaum was on 97.1 in Columbus, and he was talking about future games in college football. And Ohio State and Alabama initially supposed to have a home and home in 2027 and 2028. And this is what Paul Feinbaum had to say about it.
I sincerely doubt the Alabama game is going to happen. Based on what I've heard from Alabama's AD, he's got a shaky situation there anyway with a coach who is in trouble. Georgia might do it because they're a little more in tune and aligned, but I really don't think we're going to go too far and see those games. And I know what Ross Bjork has said, and I know what Del Conte has said, and other ADs have said, but the reality is that ninth SEC game is going to be very costly for a lot of programs.
Again, that's 97.1 in Columbus.
Well, usually I call him like just an SEC honk for fun, but I think he makes a lot of sense. I think with so many things up in the air, I mean, good God, a possible 24-team playoff here. I think a lot of these matchups that are 4, 5, 6 years off are probably going to end up getting canceled by both of them. Sad to say. Like another game that's very near and dear to our heart.
Yeah, look,
Meredith.
The whole point of this, I thought, was that we're going to have a playoff, meaning you could lose more games and it would result in big-time challenges between the conferences that would be huge reasons to watch regular season games. And now, if that's going to go by the wayside, like, what are we going to be doing in the regular season now that we're all so dead focused on the playoff? The one thing college football had was the regular season games were life or death. You've eliminated that from the equation. Now you're eliminating big out-of-conference matchups. I think that sucks.
It does.
Is there any fixing it?
No.
Have we so are you saying that college football's kind of jumped the shark and we're not coming back?
No, I mean they didn't jump the shark because the whole definition of jumping the shark is that people stop watching. They still kick off at noon and people watch. So I can't jump the shark on something that everybody still enjoys. Can't do it. It's impossible. And we didn't get a chance to get to it, but
we can get to it tomorrow.
No, it's still going to be dead. I'm tired of killing off bowl games.
All right.
Lost another one. Near and dear to our heart.
Our Detroit bowl game is over. 29 years. I went to it once. I went to that bowl game once. Akron and Memphis.
You went?
Yeah, we lost. Lost to Memphis.
Yeah.
Tight game. Tight football game.
It's the third bowl game to be canceled this year, by the way. Just for reference.
Oh, it's coming.
Yeah.
You're going to lose all
Great.
of them.
Now I have to talk to my family during the holiday season. Excellent.
Pop-Tart Bowl stays, though, right?
Oh, that'll be the last one to go.
It's got to be. Just because it's got such a presence on social media. No, they're not getting rid of the Pop-Tart Bowl anytime soon.
It's the Waste Management Open of bowl games. Thank you very much, Meredith. Coming up next, Haney, Baltimore, Rapine, Cincinnati, Muller, Pittsburgh. We go around the AFC North. 3 new head coaches in this division. Who lasts longest? And it's already time to take a look at what's going on in the draft. Ken Carman, Anthony Lima, around the AFC North in 5 minutes on The Fan. Friends, Ken Carman here.
listen on the Odyssey app. Headline Sports News every 20 minutes right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
Get the latest Cavs news up until tip-off. The Afternoon Drive. Weekdays starting at 2. Cleveland's Sports Radio. 92.3 The Fan.
It is time to go around the AFC. Stop hitting the thing. You're going to hit the
dummy. It. I got excited when I hear the music.
It's time to go around the AFC North. I think. All those guests appear on the Make It Right Call Carman hotline. Our first one is Bob Haney, 105.7 The Fan in Baltimore. He joins us right now, co-host of Vinny and Haney. Oh, Bob, first off, what about the Ravens' new situation? Lamar Jackson, happy, unhappy? Thoughts?
Well, nobody really knows, because the next time we'll hear from Lamar Jackson probably will be at OTAs, if he even shows up to one of those. He usually hits the first one.
Lack of leadership from your starting quarterback, your franchise QB. Wow.
I wouldn't know if that's exactly the case, but he keeps a real low profile when it regards to meeting with the media. Now, we assume that they're either going to extend him or renegotiate his contract. I don't know if that will be press conference worthy, but in regards to whether he's happy with Minter or Declan Doyle and anything else that's going on within the coaching staff for the last couple of weeks, no one really knows. Apparently, he was involved in a Zoom call on a couple of those occasions.
Oh, that's nice of him. It's been kind of weird over the last year, some of the stuff that came out. Baltimore Sun story about maybe the difficulty in communicating with Lamar Jackson in general. Is that something you guys dwell on, or is it something it's hard to really talk about, especially with, Lamar just being Lamar?
Well, it's hard to talk about because I'm not saying.
Oh, Bob dropped.
Attempt to reestablish that connection with
Can we
Bob
call Bob
Haney.
back? Bob dropped.
Boy, ironically, a question about communication and what happened.
Oh.
I walked right into that one.
We're dropping Bob.
What do you guys think of the beards? What do you guys think of these fake beards that we got?
We thank the Cavs for bringing these over.
Finding ways to busk.
It is the home opener for James Harden
the
tonight.
debut in Cleveland tonight.
And
against the Washington Wizards.
I got to tell you, Owen made a great point. Be pretty nice if he has another good game. You imagine another big fourth quarter. Hopefully he doesn't even need a fourth quarter. But, Owen, you even said if he plays well tonight, we got a whole week to talk about how great the Cavs are.
Hit the music. Bob Haney's back. 105.7 The Fan in Baltimore. All right, continue with what you were saying. You broke up there. Tony, you want to re-ask the question? Or, Bob, can you take it away?
Yeah, yes, in regards to talking about it, sure, we talk about it on the show, but Todd Monken, your new coach there, disputed all of the allegations that he and Lamar didn't get along, and there were veteran players who walked out of offensive meetings because they weren't happy with the play calling, things like that. So I haven't spoken to Lamar Jackson personally about any situation there. He has not commented on it at all. So I take Mike's word for it, who I know personally, and of course I don't think Todd Monken's going to lie about anything. So we're kind of in that area. I think most Ravens fans just want him to show up on Sundays or Thursdays or Mondays or Saturdays, whenever they play nowadays, play well and get to the playoffs after missing it last year and, do well in the playoffs as he's just turned 29 years old.
Bob Haney, give me a couple maybe big names that might not be on the team next year after the overhaul of the head coach and the staff.
Well, Isaiah Likely's probably gone, the tight end, because the Ravens extended Mark Andrews. Charlie Kohler's also a free agent, so I don't know if they're going to invest a ton of dough in the tight end position. Tyler Linderbaum, the Ravens did not pick up his fifth-year option. Last offseason, they did that with Kyle Hamilton, then extended him. So Linderbaum could be gone, even though it's a priority to bring him back. Marlon Humphrey may have played his last snap in a Ravens uniform, and for more health-related reasons, hopefully Nnamdi Madubuike could be back. He had a very serious injury in week 2, which some have reported as career-ending. He did tweet out, I guess it was kind of vague, Good news, didn't really elaborate. I mean, maybe he got a deal on food at the grocery store or something. But he just tweeted out good news, so we'll keep an eye on that. And they got to get Lamar's contract done because his cap hit for the next 2 years is $74.5 million per season.
Let me take it one step further really quickly. Isaiah Likely, could he be a Cleveland Brown?
I think he'd fit perfectly in Todd Monken's offense because we saw 2023 when Andrews got hurt late in the season, Likely took over for the final 5 or 6 weeks and played like an all-pro. His target share last year with Andrews was fair. I mean, he had a standout season, got hurt in training camp this year, never really seemed to get it together as, he just couldn't find his footing, no pun intended, because I think it was an ankle that slowed him down. But I think he'd be brilliant in Cleveland. I know Fannon's a rising stud, but Isaiah Likely in Cleveland with the Browns, I'd be all for it.
One final one. How does Sam Darnold winning the Super Bowl make you feel about your quarterback?
I'd still take Lamar Jackson over Sam Darnold 7 days a week and twice on Sundays, but I'm assuming that fans of Buffalo and Tampa are feeling the same way about their quarterbacks because Baker Mayfield, Josh Allen were chosen even higher than Lamar was. And either one of those guys, like Lamar, have even made it to the Super Bowl as well. So Sam Darnold, the feel-good story of the 2025 season, I guess. People are more lamenting the fact that Mike McDonald left after 23, and they should have fired John Harbaugh after the Ravens had the best record in the NFL and were the number 1 seed. But, what the hell do I know?
Sensational. Bob Haney, 105.7 The Fan in Baltimore. And we now go to Locked On Bengals and SI down in Cincinnati. And James Rapine, first off, how does Sam Darnold winning the Super Bowl make you feel about your quarterback?
Doesn't really impact it at all, right? Joe Burrow's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I think we all know that, and good for Sam. Heck of a redemption story.
Do we know that? James, I used to know that. I don't know if I know that anymore.
He's injured a lot. How do we all know that? Do we all know that?
Here's what I know.
American people
Anthony
know it?
Lima caping for 80-year-old James Harden for the past 3 weeks.
Wait a second.
What are you trying to say?
What are you trying to say, James?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Who hit the game tying shot? And then who played the best defense against Nikola Jokic all year the other day? Who did that?
I love it. February defense.
Who did that? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, okay. So it doesn't count. So what? You're a big Darius Garland fan. Darius Garland would have done those things.
Oh,
because he's the same as Joe Burrow. They're both always hurt. They're both always hurt. They're both always hurt, yeah. Because people make a big deal about both of them because they're both always hurt, and we just cover for them.
Dare.
Yeah.
Make fun of
Tell me don't I dare because I got you in the argument. That's why. Boom.
You didn't get me.
Boom.
You didn't. Call me in April. Call me in April when you're worried about the quarterbacks and drafting.
I'll be asking you about quarterbacks and drafting. It's the draft that's going to be coming up. You shouldn't be worried about quarterback. That your guy's always hurt. He's always got a bad toe.
Whether Burrow had another setback.
Him and Darius Garland seem to have a lot in common. Bunch of setbacks, a bunch of hurt toes.
How many first-round picks would the Browns offer for Joe Burrow?
Well, they offered 3 for Deshaun Watson, so 4, 5, 6. I mean, hell.
Are they the team that wants the 5 years of draft picks available so they can go after Joe? That's what I want to know.
Where are you guys going in the draft? What position?
My goodness. There's a lot they could go. Here's my fear with the draft, at least from a fan base standpoint, is it's defense or nothing. And that's how you pick the wrong guy. Like, you just need to be open to whatever's there because you're picking 10 and 9 guys are going to go, and we know 1 in Mendoza. Outside of that, I think it's pretty open. So that's the tough spot. But, yeah, you obviously lean defense, and Caleb Downs is a fan favorite if he's there at 10.
James, Joe Burrow, it's just gotten kind of odd with obviously those depressing press conferences that he had at the end of the year. Is he talking a little more like he wants to play football and is excited about playing football in Cincinnati again, or are you just going to have to wait till camp starts up?
I think he's still excited to play football. I agree. I think this year was hard on him because he worked his butt off to get back and was hoping that they would at least have a chance to make it. And with 1 loss to Josh Allen on the road, it was completely over. And so I think that was a tough December for him, tough year for him overall. But do I think that he's going to be ready to go? I do. Now the Bengals organization has to do their part and make sure that they have a playoff level roster around him because they clearly haven't had that over the past couple of years.
What is it about Zach Taylor that keeps Joe Burrow wanting him back for more?
He's positioned himself well. It's smart by Zach. There's no doubt. I think Joe thinks that Zach is a good coach and that they didn't have enough talent. And that would be the main reason why I would be optimistic about the Bengals spending this offseason to add talent is because Joe looked at that roster, and I'm sure like a lot of us said, you didn't do enough on defense. Of course, Zach isn't winning games. Whether or not Zach is a good head coach or great head coach or whatever you want to say, Joe is in his corner. But I do think that this is a make or break year for Zach. He's got to get back to the playoffs.
James Rapine, Locked On Bengals down in Cincinnati. We now go to 93.7 The Fans. Chris Muller. And first off, Sam Darnold wins the Super Bowl. What's that make you feel about your quarterback situation in Pittsburgh?
Wretched, because it's going to be the same as it was last year. An old guy coming in and people, well, not me because I'm smart, but other people, like the people who run the organization, thinking that somehow they can bring the same band back with a different coach and now they'll have different results. Except the quarterback that they're going to bring back doesn't want to take hits, doesn't want to hold the ball longer than 2.1 seconds, and doesn't want to use the middle of the field until he absolutely has to at the end of games, lest he might throw an interception. Other than that, it's great, Ken.
Well, what is the case for bringing him back? Is it just we're going to rekindle something from years ago in the NFL? Like, why would Steeler fans buy into this at all, seeing how he played at the end of the year?
There are some fans that are just doggedly optimistic that, first off, there is no actual case, in my opinion. There is no, objective use case for bringing him back. The people that want him back think he's a victim of everything around him. Well, Mike Tomlin was a defensive coach who didn't know how to get the most out of a quarterback. Never mind the fact that that's why Rodgers came here, was to play for Tomlin. They didn't use the middle of the field because the playbook was terrible from Arthur Smith, except, again, that's an Aaron Rodgers thing. The playbook becomes what he wants it to be. He was let down by his offensive line. Not really. I mean, Broderick Jones wasn't very good, but he was getting a little bit better, and then they got surprisingly good play from his replacement. He didn't have enough receivers. Well, whose problem is that?
You know what you sound like?
Rodgers.
You know what you sound like? What a lot of people say about Shedeur Sanders, I got to tell you.
Well, yeah, and I'm telling you, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm telling you what people here are saying about him. And, listen, I think it's different to make excuses for a guy with his overall resume a little bit, because you could trick yourself into thinking, that guy will someday come back. But my problem with all of that is, if Aaron Rodgers was, 36 and was coming off of the exact season he had, maybe you'd say, all right, he's not young, but he's at an age where quarterbacks still can find it again. He's going to be 43, and people just are making every excuse in the book as to why last year ended the way it did without just looking at what's staring them in the face, obviously. He's done. He played a good defense in the playoffs, and he looked completely overwhelmed the way a guy who had never played football before would look.
Now that the smoke is kind of clearing from the end of the Mike Tomlin era, do we know why he really stepped away? I know there's been a lot of internet gossip. I'm not going to ask you to get down deep into the mud on that, but do we really know what happened there at the end? And was he fired? Was he asked? Is there any part of you that could think that was the case?
The thing I don't believe is this idea that when he told Art Rooney he was done, that Art Rooney, prostrated himself on the floor begging Mike to come back. I think they've crafted a narrative internally that is almost, it's been done to serve Mike and this idea of Mike as this monolithic head coach, that they really tried to talk him out of it. Me personally, I don't think that happened. I think he went in there. I think he said he wanted to be done. And I think Art Rooney II more or less was like, you sure? And Mike said, yep. And Art said, okay. The way Art presented it initially in his press conference, that he was surprised but not shocked by any stretch of the imagination, to me, that is a sign that they were aware of this. And then you have Jay Glazer saying he had been planning this for 2 years. That also, I think, is an interesting wrinkle. So the owner of the team then thought he was going to come back initially when that meeting happened, but the closest insider to Mike Tomlin said this has been in the works for 2 years. As with everything, Steelers and Tomlin, as we close the book on that relationship, there's always like 3 different stories, and you have to decide which parts of them you actually believe to come up with a narrative that you think is actually realistic. And that's the way they liked it for a long time. So,
all right, Chris, quickly, we only got a few seconds. Cam Hayward again hinting at retirement. Is this really going to happen this time?
I'm going to say no, because I think he knows he's really good still. Like, if I were him, I'd want to get like a $20 million payday next year. I'd want to like have them rip up the last year of the contract and give me something that was in line with me being a second-team All-Pro if I were him. So no, I think he's going to give it one more go-around.
Chris Muller, 93.7 The Fan in Pittsburgh, part of the great triumvirate that is around the AFC North. Bob Haney, James Rapine, Chris Muller, all on the Make It Right Call Kyle Wright hotline. Are we falling for honeymoon Harden? And the Browns need to, quote, aggressively pursue Malik Willis. There's a big article last night. Ken Carman, Anthony Lima. Take us with you to work on the free Odyssey app.
The young team.
2027. Call Home Genius Exteriors now at 855 the letter U, the letter R, Genius. See website for details.
Talk sports deep into the Cleveland night. Overtime with Jake Volnick. Weeknights at 7. Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
Lima, are you afraid of something? Are you afraid we're falling for Honeymoon Harden?
I am not afraid, but I have seen the warnings from Houston fans. I've seen warnings from Philly fans, like, Cavs, you guys are pumped up over Harden, and you're in the honeymoon phase, and get ready because Game 7 comes around, and you know what's going to happen.
Okay. Guys, we've said this. How many times have I said it when we're talking about James Harden? Is that it ain't gonna end well? It's not. Oh, you want me to do this while we're doing it? You want me to hold up the beard, fake beard, while we're doing it?
Yes.
I said the whole time it's not going to end well, but I'm going to enjoy it while it's good, and it's good. It's going well right now so far. So hell yeah, I'm going to enjoy the hell out of it.
I'm going to be really excited if they get to a Game 7 and it's in an Eastern Conference Finals.
Well,
because they weren't doing it with I'm wearing my tributed steel-toed shoe for Darius Garland, and it wasn't happening there.
About that.
Exactly.
About that. Last May, it was the first round, and the Clippers were going up against the Denver Nuggets. And I laugh because in that Game 6, they were down 3-2, and they went into Denver, and James Harden had 28 points, 8 assists, 6 rebounds, 10 of 20 from the field. Oh, by the way, played 47 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You imagine Darius Garland trying to play 47 minutes in a grueling series against a team as good as the Nuggets? Like, James Harden, you can't act as if, yes, he's had his failures, but the reason we talk about his failures so much is because of his successes. You wouldn't care about his failures if he had no successes. And that's what. Do you understand the logic? What I mean by that was that a little clunky.
Be around for his 17th year.
What was clunky about that?
Yeah, and I had some people again tweeting me yesterday. No titles. You can't win with Harden, and I'm like, all right. So let's play this out. How many guys can you win with as the best or second best player? And then he started listing, and he only listed like 6 guys. This guy on Twitter, and I'm like, okay, so there's only 6 good guys in the league. You can't build a team around anybody else with other players, with other formulas. Like, yeah, everybody has never won a title until they finally win a title.
Well, I don't need any warning from Houston fans. I don't need any warning from Philly fans or anything like that. I don't care about what they think. I know what this team was before, and I know that they had to get something for Darius Garland. I didn't think they were going to get a chance. You're going to spill coffee all over yourself. You try to drink that with the beard on.
How does he do it?
They had to get something.
How does he eat and drink?
The beard
and
is actually fastened to his face. It grows on him.
Yeah,
I don't know how you guys with beards eat and drink.
In the remnants and
oh God,
who knows?
Shut up.
When James I did get some ketchup in there last night.
When James goes to the club, how does that work?
Chili.
I'm gonna get sick. Stop it.
Got peanut butter in there the other day.
Marinating, fermenting.
I'm gonna leave. Keep it up, and you'll host the show by yourself.
Well, you can see they have some gray hairs in there as well.
I swear to you. Well, yeah, because they took a picture right from it. He's 36 years old. There's going to be some grays in there. If there weren't any grays, I'd accuse him of being Mike Krzyzewski or Ryan Day. How old's Mike Krzyzewski?
Hey,
1,000?
Kevin allowed his
jet
beard.
Black hair? Okay.
Kevin allowed his beard to turn.
Kevin who?
Stefanski.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I still think up top he was still...
was throwing some Grecian in there? You want to text him and ask?
He was. Go ahead.
Well, I'm not texting him and asking him that. You go ahead and do it. Anyway, I'm fine with the honeymoon. I had no other choice. Who are you getting that was better than James Harden for Darius Garland? Not Evan Mobley, not Donovan. Who are you getting better for Darius? This is as good as it was going to get.
Right. 100%.
And I'm sure we're going to come in here one day. I'd be shocked if we don't come in here one day and we're not massively disappointed and upset. And now it's time to break up the band. And all this has been fun, but all good things must come to an end. I know this wholeheartedly going into it. But I'm going to enjoy it while it's enjoyable. And right now we have beards. It's like he's never not played for the Cavs.
I guess
they ordered 20,000 plus beards in like 2 days.
I know.
Here we are.
I guess I just keep coming back to this thought that that a lot of NBA fans have that leads me to believe they could never, obviously, could never actually work in the NBA because that's not, people do this in football too. And I've been guilty of it. So I got to say, I probably would have said Sam Darnold could never win a Super Bowl. I've probably said it. Yes. I've said it about Baker. So obviously I would have said it about Sam. And Baker was better than Sam, up until recently. And now Sam just won a Super Bowl. Now you could say Sam's on a better team, whatever. But I'm trying to learn as I get older. You can't just simply say because a guy hasn't won a title that he can never win a title. I'm pretty sure Charles Barkley on the right teams could have won titles in the prime of his career. And the thing about James is now you could say James has had so many more seasons, so it's clear, it's been proven he can't win a title. Okay, he's lost to some pretty damn good teams.
Well, what it's about?
Okay, can we not act like he hasn't lost to some of the great teams?
He's lost to some great teams, but what I think it's about more is I think it's more about timing. By the way, this Cavs conversation brought to you by the fine folks at Surfside Hard Iced Tea. The fine folks at Surfside ask you to please drink responsibly. It's not just that, Tone. It's that I look at the timing of it as well. Jason Tatum, I know he's doing some 5-on-5, playing against some G League guys. Now, he has said that he's not going to rush it back. I know that they had a conversation about it on ESPN. They said not to rush it back. I know that Tyrese Halliburton, I mean, they're out of it, so they're not going to rush him back, obviously. Like, the runway is open. You got to answer for the Knicks, and you got to answer probably in the Western Conference. And so, there's still formidable opponents in the Eastern Conference. I know that Detroit's still Detroit. I don't know if they have the postseason acumen, but that's a conversation for another day, probably closer to the postseason. If they don't win it all this year, things are going to change. Tatum will be back next year. Halliburton will be back next year. Other moves are made. The Cavs could certainly make another big move that we've been talking about. And LeBron was calling out the Lakers just the other day about this. So there's other moves that can be made. But I see an opportunity right now, and I see a team that took advantage of a situation where they could take advantage of the opportunity. And I do not pick them as the odds-on favorite to win the finals. So all you did was boast your chances to get into the NBA Finals. I take them as the favorite now in the Eastern Conference.
I just got to stop you because you're exactly right.
Do I need to stop about the Eastern Conference?
Well, no, you're right about that. Also, there is no acquisition the Cavs could have made that would make them the favorites. So does that mean they shouldn't have made a move? Like, this is what I want to ask people.
They maximized every opportunity they had. They had an opportunity to go get it. They maximized it. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out.
This was my beef with what Nick was saying, and Nick will be back today, I think.
There's going to be hell to pay today, buddy boy.
Nick said, what's the point of making a move like this and getting off of young Darius, 26, which I get it. It's risky.
Because I don't have faith that he's ever going to be healthy again, and I don't think you're ever going to get as far as what you do with James Harden.
That was obviously part of the math, but also thinking about, if you can't get the best odds to win the title, in sports, you should do nothing? That's not how this works. That doesn't make sense at all.
Well, then going to what he had said, I don't remember all that. But I remember the whole thing about, the second round stuff and things like that. Going back on what he said, then fine. We should, if it wouldn't have done that, then we should have just liquidated the assets then. Shouldn't we have? I mean, right now you
start over.
Yeah, but then you have three great players.
If we did it that way,
we would just liquidated the assets.
Every team would start over every year with the exception of 4. You can't do that. And by the way, they allowed it they went further than I would have with Darius and Donovan, right? 3.5 years. I probably would have punted earlier. And when you could get a little more too.
But I don't think they could.
But they couldn't. Honestly, they couldn't. It would have been hard to do that. You always want to see what the promise is. I think it's one of the flaws in a lot of fans think players and teams get better every year. And so they're always assuming, hey, we can't get off of a guy because he's going to get better. He's going to get better. He's going to get better until he doesn't. A lot of guys don't get better.
I mean, I look at this, guys. This is the equivalent of a summer fling in basketball. And I'm going to enjoy it while I can. I think it's going to be hot. I think it's going to be heavy. And I think it's going to fizzle out pretty quickly. And I go into that wholeheartely knowing I have no problem with that. I mean, we are reaching the end of what they are. I know that they were a fun bunch, but they were not a serious basketball team to win the NBA Finals. And I denied that because I didn't want to admit it. I think a lot of people did, but I think that we just didn't want to admit it out loud. But I think in the back of our heads, we all knew it. This is a team that consistently talked. We consistently talked about them not being able to answer the bright lights against some of the best teams in the NBA, not being able to rise up to the occasion, not taking it seriously enough. They are a very nice group of young guys, including Darius Garland. But when they've made this trade, you can already see the relief in Donovan Mitchell. I made this comparison last night. You come home from a long day. Like there's days I'm in Cleveland all day long. So I'm gone from the early morning until late at night. My wife is thrilled when I walk through the door because there's another adult to take care of these boys. That's the way she feels. I think Donovan Mitchell, in these 2 games that we've only seen, it's only been 2, I think Donovan Mitchell feels the same way. I think Donovan Mitchell's my wife waiting for the other adult to come in here and take care of these kids. These kids are talented. Jared Allen's a good player. Evan Mobley's a good player. You got Jalen Tyson, who's spunky and fun and ready to go at anybody.
Awesome.
But he's going to have to be molded there, and you can't expect him to step up into these moments when you're going into the postseason. I can't say wholeheartedly I expect James Harden to be able to do it, but he has 2 years of postseason experience, meaning he's played in 173 games, like you said. So he has 2 seasons of postseason basketball.
I just told you, Kenny, he's 36.
I have to maximize my chances no matter what.
Last year,
Giannis wasn't available. LeBron wasn't available, and even that's a different conversation. I'm sorry. I'll shut up after this. All the other big players weren't available. You had a player that was available to you who has a pretty good history. I don't think it's going to end well, but I'm going to stretch it out as long as I can. And if we can make a run at the title, even if we don't win it, I can still respect him and say you did what you could to do everything you could to get a chance to win the title.
And just anybody that is out there saying, oh, you guys are caught up in the new glow of new sexy player, no matter how old he is.
No kidding.
Yeah, 100%. But I can tell you that while you're telling me it's going to end badly, the other thing already ended, and it was bad. Okay? It was already done, and I knew how it was going to end. And just look at Donovan Mitchell. He thought their playoff chances were DOA with Darius Garland. Does he think like that now? You're watching. You don't need to be a body language expert to understand how he feels about this situation.
You can hear it.
I said it's a new lease on life. It 100% is right now.
You had a hell of a question about Browns fans moving forward and how we would have felt if what happened Sunday happened to us. We'll get into that coming up a little bit later on. But coming up in 5 minutes, the Browns need to, quote, aggressively pursue Malik Willis. It was written last night, and I still don't know why I got so mad at Tone over it. Ken Carman, Anthony Lima on the Fan. Window Nation at windownation.com. You need to aggressively pursue
heavy congestion from Som Center. This is Joe Checkeye for 92.3 The Fan.
Catch the latest Browns news all off-season long. Stream us on the Odyssey app and on your smart speaker by telling Alexa to play 92.3 The Fan.
Folks, if you missed a moment of the show, use the rewind feature on the free Odyssey app powered by Integrated Restoration, your local experts in water, fire, and storm disaster restoration. Ben Solak, ESPN, had an article last night, and in it said the Browns need to aggressively go after Malik Willis. Aggressively go after Malik Willis. Aggressively is the word. He even has a number. Quote, they should give Willis $30 million per year now. Backload it and backload the contract. Usually it's front load the contract. Here's a quote. They should give Willis $30 million per year now, backload it, and let him ride as their developmental starter for the next few seasons. His tools are so remarkably beyond those of Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders, and he has a style of play similar to Lamar Jackson, with whom Todd Monken just worked. This is a good marriage. Agree or disagree?
Quickly, let me just insert this. It seems like his contract goes up $5 million every time his agent picks up the phone. Now we're up to 30. What are we going to be by next week? First,
why did I get so mad at you about the Malik Willis thing? I'm still wondering.
Well, we're talking crazy. I mean,
is it just because you said it like I think you might have said something like Head and Shoulders, but I mean Ben Solak's saying the same thing, so maybe I should start screaming at Ben Solak.
I think what it is, his arm is better than Shedeur's, and he's a better athlete. But a football player like Shedeur's probably, it's still very early in Shedeur's career. We've only seen a few games.
Well,
but
listen,
Shedeur is a football player compared to
who would you have a quarterback
what
right
we
now?
saw Willis.
Who would you put a quarterback right now as a starter?
For the Browns?
If you had the choice between Malik Willis and Shedeur Sanders, who would you pick?
So obviously I'm gonna spell this out. I have no idea if Malik Willis is good at football as a starting quarterback. How could you? He's started, 6 games? What I saw last year, granted with a much better team, was way better than what Shedeur was doing. Now it's a small sample size, right? So it's really, really hard.
I think I remember what I got mad at you about.
That it is impossible for me to definitively say that Malik Willis is better than Shedeur, but the tape was way better.
Okay, maybe it's not maybe it's impossible for you to definitively say it. What's your feeling? Which is your feeling? Malik Willis or Shedeur Sanders?
That it's my gut feeling.
You got to gamble on one.
Yeah, my gut feeling is probably that Malik will go somewhere, be a starter, not be good.
See, this is why. Now I remember. What, your gut feeling is that he'll be a starter and not be good? Wow.
This is him capitalizing on a 2-game sample size, one that he started, didn't win.
But I asked you a different question. Yeah. I asked you your gut feeling. Did I ask? I thought I just did. Your gut feeling, who's going to be better, Malik Willis or Shedeur?
Okay, that's different. That's a different, because that's not now just based on Malik.
Because if you have a gut feeling that Malik Willis is going to go somewhere and be bad, then we got to have a totally different conversation.
But my gut on Shedeur is that he's probably not going to be a long starter in this league.
But what you just said...
That's what you're asking me today. Maybe
I know, but what you just
5 weeks
said
into the season.
What you just said is why I yelled at you 3 weeks ago. Now I remember what it was.
What was it?
Because I don't want to be making investments on guys that I can't give you a clear argument on to why they should get them.
So no team... If you were GM... if Ken Carman... If we were able to 3D print Ken Carman, and he is now the GM of all 30.
They're going to take a lot of material.
Now he is the GM of all 32 teams. Yeah. No teams would take a chance on Malik Willis then, because this would be the team to take a chance on Malik Willis.
I understand that, but
clearly teams are going to. Jason Lockenfora, by the way, said it's Miami and Cleveland, according to people in the league he's talked to. And he thinks Cleveland might be the team.
So I don't want... Lockenfora said that? Mm-hmm. So this is what I'm most wanting to avoid. I'm not afraid of any of these guys, so I don't want to say, this is what I'm most afraid of. I'm not afraid of any of it. I just don't want to waste time. I don't want to waste time. A little preview of what we'll say about Mary Kay's article coming up later on. I don't hate any of these guys. I just don't want to be sitting here in December going, well, we're damned if we do, damned if we don't. I don't believe in losing on purpose. But I also believe in trying to find somebody who's going to be a long-term fit that I can give you a good, strong argument about. Like Mac Jones, I think I can give you a better argument for, because I'm like, well, he's a first-round QB. I don't think he was set up for success in New England. He's had a guy who's good with offense in San Francisco, and he was pretty successful in the small sample size that we got with him. When it comes to Malik Willis, good arm, good athlete, right?
Great arm, great athlete.
Was definitely set up for more success in Green Bay than he ever was in Tampa Bay. Tennessee is a mess.
Yeah.
And it goes without saying, Cam Ward might be in trouble because they can't get out of their own way down there. But if I invest that in Malik Willis, again, this is a team that loves the sunk cost fallacy and loves to invest in these things and loves to, we're going to get another year out of this guy. We're going to get another year out of this guy. We got to get another. And I'm ready to go on to somebody. I'm just so tired of trying to drag any blood from any stone. And that's why it's like, when I'm so big on Shedeur Sanders, guys, it's not Kenny, you're falling in love with the cult. You're part of the cult. It's not the cult, guys. It's that if he goes out there and he does well, great. If he goes out there and he does poorly, it's no hair off my ass. Can I say that?
Okay, but you say that today.
Is that not fair? What do you mean?
How does that feel if you're 1-5, 1-6? And how are you feeling about Todd Monken?
Then we're getting that's the
people are going to be saying Monken's one and done.
Then I'm getting ready, and I don't care. It ain't my money. It ain't my future. I don't care. If we start off 1-6 and it's Shedeur Sanders, I'm getting ready for Arch Manning, Lenoris Sellers, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm ready to invest in one of those guys. I'm serious about this. If Shedeur Sanders goes out there and does well, great. If he goes out there and he totally flops and he sucks and there's no more Kevin Stefanski boogeyman and there's no more Browns boogeyman, he is what he is, and now the Emperor's no longer wearing clothes and now we all have to see for what he is, great. Because he was a 5th-round pick.
There's only one problem with that,
I don't care about that. And I don't care about nut jobs on the internet calling me names. I don't care about that. The
only problem about that is...
So go right on ahead and play the guy.
Then that kind of sounds like you're wasting... Forget your time. You're wasting Myles Garrett and Denzel Ward's time.
They signed the contract. I'm sorry.
But that
I know. I know.
But hold on.
That's a terrible answer, but I got to be honest.
You're trying to do this in the smartest way possible, which is you're trying to win while Myles Garrett and Denzel Ward are in their primes, right? Or are you not factoring that in?
How many wins if you play 17 games right now off the top of your head? Unfair questions. How many wins do you get if you play Shedeur Sanders 17 games this coming season?
I mean, I've said 5 or 6.
How many wins do you get if you play Malik Willis?
I have no idea. That's the gamble, though. Because
you just said your gut feeling is that he goes somewhere and he doesn't do well.
That was my gut feeling. But by what I saw last year, Malik Willis looked more ready to play football than Shedeur did.
Clearly, he's been in the league.
I just don't know if now defenses have film on him and everything, and he's your permanent starter.
Yeah.
But there's no doubt, nobody disputes who's got a better arm and who's a better athlete. Malik Willis.
I'm not debating that. And he's more ready because he's been in the league. He understands what the systems are. And he's certainly no dummy. So if he's more ready, okay, but if you win 5 games with Shedeur Sanders and I only win 6 games with Malik Willis, what are we doing here? So I'm going to run it right back and go ahead and get another guy, either get another guy or just, since we're paying him $30 million a year over the next couple of years, and what he writes, Ben Solak writes, let him ride it out as their developmental starter for the next few seasons. We want to do 3 more years?
Yeah, but my guess is
grinding it out?
But this speaks to the trying to do it quickly on a timeline of Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward, and by the way, a defense that is ready right now. You just made a case earlier in the show that this is prime defensive coordinator. Why is it prime? Because they're ready to win right now, the defense is. Well, if they're ready to win right now, the defense, you want a quarterback that is more ready to win.
If you can convince me that Malik Willis, I'm not anti-Malik Willis. If you can convince me that he's a 9 to 10 win QB, which that can get you into the postseason, I'm fine with just get me in the dance. I'm fine with just making the postseason, guys. Like the AFC, I'd love to win an AFC North for the first time since I was 3 years old. That'd be great.
How could we convince you
just get me
of
there.
that?
I need more than just Ben Solak. I need more than just Jason Lockenfora.
Well, it does seem like it's more than those guys because
seriously,
he's the biggest name right now.
Call Brian back. Call them all. Get these quarterback people in here. Tell me. Get people from Green Bay in here. Tell me. Convince me. Guys, I'm open-minded.
I'm with you there.
I got nothing but time on this. I just don't want to waste any of that time. It's the whole reason I have the conversation about the Deshaun Watson stuff that we're going to have. I don't hate Deshaun Watson. I just hate a waste of time, and I hate not learning a lesson. It's in 5 on the Fan.
Anthony Lima for Mentality.
92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
Sign up to be a part of the fan club. Download the free Odyssey app and follow 92.3 The Fan to get all of the best audio and best stories sent straight to your inbox. 923thefan.com.
Social media reactions brought to you by
Shivan Jewelers, Cleveland's premier jewelry store.
A lot of people in the YouTube chat now saying that Shador's a waste of time.
That seems to be popping up a bunch.
Whoa, usually the Shador fans have owned the YouTube chat.
They're in a battle for their life right now.
Oh, boy. So are you saying they disagree with me about waste of time?
Well, it's all over the place because you make a point you don't want to waste your time anymore.
I'm all over the place, or they're all over the place?
I think the conversation is because we're sitting here talking about two things we can't possibly know. Whether or not Shador is going to be good. It's way too early in his career. He did not have a great setup last year. We all agree. Mm-hmm. And then Malik Willis, who what a great situation for him to learn and develop last year, and then he came in 2 huge games his team absolutely needed. And now the start, he didn't win, but he was unbelievable in that game. Wasn't his fault. They lost that game. And then he was in another game where he played really, really well. So small sample size, which is tantalizing because it's the reason why a guy who started as few games as he started in his career, what is he, 6-3 as a starter?
Well, somebody had said that he had like 7-4. I'm like, no. As far as I see, he's 3-3 as a starter
with Green Bay.
And in Green Bay, he's only started 3 games.
Okay.
He started 1 last year, 2 the year before. He's 2-1 as a starter in Green Bay.
Yes, obviously very small.
Yeah, 2-1.
But so people would say, well,
Pro Football Reference is what I'm looking at, unless I'm on the wrong page.
So people would say,
no, that's the right page.
Yeah, you're on the right page. Okay. So people would say that you can't take a gamble on that, which is what this is. It's so hard. Obviously, look at how desperate so many teams are.
They've made worse gambles. Look at the guy they're paying $46 million this year.
Well, look, somebody is going to gamble on him because of the quarterback draft is so lean this year. And how many teams need a quarterback right now in the NFL, like a definitive franchise
10.
quarterback? So by definition, there are going to be teams that are going to gamble on Malik Willis. Some would say Shador is a gamble. Now, you're not paying him. Obviously Malik Willis is going to get a decent payday. And you've seen that.
You see, this is where I'm at. I got to find the downside to the three players. So I'll write their names down real quick. Boy, I'm sounding like Phelps here, aren't I? You got Malik, all right? You got Watson. You got Shador. Downside to each one. Because you got to gamble against the downside first if you're making it on these quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. Shador, number one, not paying him a lot of money. And if he doesn't do well, I get a lot of people on the internet saying, I don't know what I'm doing. And they won't blame it on him. Well, I don't care about people on the internet. So that's what's the bad side?
Todd Monken's reputation might be sullied.
Whatever.
That he's worked,
again, but that's not my
60
problem.
years to try to.
Well, no one forced him to take this job. Mm-hmm. No one forced him to apply or to take the job. You know what you're getting into, sir. Deshaun, I hate to be tough talking Ken to tough talking Todd Monken, but here we are. Deshaun Watson, what's the downside of that? What's the downside? First off, what's the downside? Go back to Shador. What's the downside of him winning 5 games? If you say it's 5 games, what's the downside? Not much. How many games can you win with Deshaun? Because with the other 2, with Malik and Watson, you have to win more because you have to be more worth the investment.
Yeah, I agree.
$46 million to Deshaun. Now, the downside of that is that if he wins 9 or 10 games, you're going to the playoffs, so maybe he might be worth it. But do you believe he's worth that investment again? Because then again, we're talking stupid contract stuff again and all the other things. And I'm against not learning a lesson, and I'm against wasting time. I don't think Shador is the waste of time that the other ones would be if the other ones are not successful. I'm open-minded to Malik Willis. I want somebody to tell me why he's worth the investment. I don't care about the money. I care about my years. I care about my time. Why is he worth the investment with this group? Because he doesn't cost me any draft picks. He only costs me money. Is he worth it to play with the draft picks that we could get? Even though none of us trust Andrew Berry, I got it. But is he worth it? Somebody sell me on him. Somebody, I'm as open-minded as possible. Somebody sell me on Malik Willis, and I'm listening.
Yeah, would you say he's more ready to play tomorrow than Shedeur?
Maybe, yeah. Maybe. Already Shedeur started as many games as he has in his career, so that's going to be an odd one to sort out. But you maybe say that he's got more experience in the NFL, so maybe he'd be more ready to start.
That's true.
But
he's worked with more coaches. He's worked with more players.
And it's not just more ready to start. I can find Bailey Zappi might have been more ready to start.
Yeah.
I need a guy to get me wins because I need to get out of a spot where I'm going, okay, let me rip up the quarterback conversation for the draft. Let me go with Malik Willis another year.
Do you think
Let me rip up the QB conversation for this draft and go with somebody else.
Opposing teams, hell, one of those is in the division that went up against him last year, and he cooked them, okay? Defenses, defensive coordinators, who would they be more nervous to go up against?
Malik Willis or Shedeur?
Shedeur. I'd say probably right now Malik.
Probably Malik Willis, yeah. But
does that factor into anything?
I don't know. I don't think it does. Which one of these guys gets me not just 6 or 7,
this
gets
is easy.
me to the
This is actually
playoffs.
pretty easy. If both were available right now in the open market.
Malik Willis.
Malik is getting more attention, more money.
Well, yeah. Yes.
That's just a fact.
Okay, I understand
Even
that.
the Shedeur fans would have to admit that's a fact.
Okay. I'm admitting that. But I look at the downside and then, all right, what is the upside of each of them failing? The upside of Deshaun Watson failing is that maybe finally we can learn a lesson. The upside of Malik Willis failing is that, okay, I guess I'm not in a long-term contract and it's just money. I didn't give up picks. The upside of Shedeur Sanders failing is that, all right, I finally noticed what it was and what he could do, and we're probably in a position where we could move up and take a quarterback, or we could take a quarterback in the first round next year and really invest in these guys.
I will say all of them failing and being really bad this year, you're moving on from each and every one of them, even Malik Willis.
I mean,
if you sign him to a 2-year contract, you're getting. If he's terrible this year, you're done. If Deshaun Watson's terrible, you're done. If Shedeur's terrible, you're done.
Yes.
So I actually think the risk is kind of the same. There's a little more money baked into to Malik Willis, but none of it. If you're somebody who says the cap is a myth,
who's done? Barry's done?
No, I'm saying that all 3 players, you're done with them if they suck.
Oh, okay, yeah, all right. So and then
Justin Fields, that was 1 year done, 1 year done, 2 different places.
Yeah. So that's okay, that's fair. But you gave me the Miles and Ward scenario. I'm like, guys, I would look at Miles and Denzel and I go, unless you guys know better than me, and they might, this looks like your 3 best options here.
What I'm saying is,
you
for
go ahead
those
and pick
two,
your poison. Which one, if you guys are going to be here for 3 more years, which one would you rather?
Yeah, but I think both of them would want the guy that's more ready to go right now.
But if I could tell them that you're only going to win 6 games, what are we really going to do?
You're not telling them that. If you went out and got Malik Willis, you're thinking he could win 9 or 10.
And I need somebody to tell me why he's going to win 9 or 10. That's why I'm open-minded. I don't mean to go in a circle and upset you, but I need to be sold on it. I will be open-minded on him. With the other ones, I'm not as open-minded. With Shedeur, I'm like, well, you're going to need to put some things around him. I have more fun talking about Shedeur than I've ever had talking about Deshaun Watson. I would probably have more fun talking about Malik Willis and both of them because if he's naturally better, like you're telling me, than Shedeur, and if he's more ready to play than Deshaun, then fine.
If fans saw Malik Willis at training camp, they're going to be if they've been blown away by past bad quarterbacks of the Browns, and then they see his athleticism, they're going to be, oh my God, his arm strength.
Malik Willis,
they're going to go crazy. They will be.
Look at you trying to sell me on Malik Willis over here.
They will be instant. Again, might be total bust. This might be total whatever. But they would be blown away by what they see.
Go give me some QB coaches. Give me some QB coaches to jump on this damn show right now and sell me on Malik Willis. I am open-minded. I am ready to buy. I'm at the car dealership, and I am ready to go. Get me in that. What's it going to take to get me into a Malik Willis today? I'm open-minded, guys. I would love to win. I just need to win more than 7 games. 7 games is horrific. 7 games is going to suck. Get me to 9. Get me to 10. Get me to the playoff. Get me to a wild card. Get with this team. I'll tell you this.
How many fans would say 7 wins now? Boom, got it. Sold.
Maybe.
You said
I'll tell you this. Well, no, because I'm stuck, and then you're probably thinking, well, if your special teams would have played better, you probably would have won 7 games this last year. So this is where it goes to their argument where you're not as far away as what we think they are. What I think they are, and you'd think they're a little closer than I do, actually, If they win 7 games, I still think you're in a purgatory. If you win 9 and say I don't make the playoffs, I go, wow, you played really well. You can play well and win only 9 games. And then I go, all right, give me some wide receivers. Give me another wide receiver around him because you're going to draft one this year. Give me another offensive line or 2 offensive linemen around him because you're probably going to draft some this year. And then, hey, we're laughing. You can get me to 9 and maybe even not making the playoffs. I'll meet you there. It doesn't take that much, but I really want as close to it as I can because I don't want to be sitting here in 2027 going, I can't believe we missed on this great effing draft class in 2027 because we're going through with all this with Malik Willis, and now we got to wait until God knows when to go after all these guys. See, that's what I'm trying to guard against. I just don't want to waste our time. So if you guys got a great plan, please, I'm all ears. Adam in Cleveland. Adam, hello.
Good morning, Ken.
Morning, Adam. Go ahead.
So here's my thoughts. I would pass on Malik Willis. Let's build around Shador because no matter what quarterback you put back there, if you don't have an offensive line to block for this young man or receivers for him to throw to, it doesn't matter who plays quarterback for the Cleveland Browns.
Well, that's
but you
true.
Can't, what are you telling Jimmy Haslam? It doesn't matter who the quarterback is this year. Like, obviously, you've got to sell ownership and you got to sell the team on a quarterback that has a chance.
I'll say the same thing, Adam. But what I'm saying here in this scenario, and I got to let you go. Thank you for the call because I know we're getting up against it. 216-474-0092. I'll get more guys on the other side. I promise. When I'm talking about investing in Shador, it's not even the investment in Shador. It's investing in whoever takes over as quarterback. If I get more wide receivers in the draft, if I get another wide receiver in free agency, you know what I think about offensive linemen in free agency. There's only been a couple that have been really, really, really good. Now more than ever, remember that statement? Now more than ever, you need good quarterback or good offensive line play. If any one of those guys are going to be free agents, I will be very, very, very wary of any of those guys who you would bring in free agency. It's not as much as about investing in Shador as it is investing in the position. If Shador can do better with better pieces around him, I would hope he can't help but do better with better pieces around him. If he can do better with better pieces around him, then the conversation is, can we find somebody who can excel that much more with better pieces around him? Can he do that? So it's an investment in other positions to invest around the position, to build around the position. Take the name out of it. Then look at who you think is going to make it a better situation for your future. If you really believe that Malik Willis can do that, not just over the next couple of years, but maybe even long term, but let's crawl before we walk and let's get over the next couple of years. Please sell me on the idea. You got a month. The new league year starts next month. Please. I'm not just asking. I'm begging you to do it. Because I'm tired of talking about quarterbacks just as much as you guys are. You don't believe me, but I swear on my dead mother. 216-474-0092. All right, we got guys here. I'm going to get to you guys on this. Who out of the 3 guys, who might be the bigger waste of time out of all of them? I'll give you my answer when we come back on The Fan. Northeast Factory Direct at northeastfactorydirect.com.
That's 11 to midnight. All the best segments from all our shows can always listen on the Odyssey app. Headline sports news every 20 minutes right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
Well, I just got embarrassed on another platform. I thought we were friends, Brian.
This goes to show you he didn't have the guts to say it on our air.
Well, no, clearly I was right. He was just trying to be nice to me.
He was trying to be nice.
9:45?
Yeah.
You know what? Make sure you're tuned in at 9:40 just in case. Man. I wasn't being disrespectful. That's disrespectful? I said 40 different guys could do it.
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
Fine.
Let's do this Malik Willis thing.
I understand, but it's basically...
Let's be disrespectful to someone else.
You just had like an 8-car pileup right next to me, and they're like, hey, Kenny, you got to focus on the birds over there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We'll get to it.
What did I say who was going to be the biggest waste of time? I think Deshaun Watson's the biggest waste of time. Easily.
So, are you nervous? What Mary Kay wrote
Give me Malik
yesterday?
Willis.
The people in the building
No, I'm
thought
not
he
nervous.
was the best quarterback.
No, I'm not nervous. It's expected. I told you. I'm not nervous about anything. I'm done being nervous. I used to get nervous. Oh my God, they're going to lose some more games? No! Oh, no. No, I wasn't going to do that. I'm not nervous. It's expected. I did not want them to sign him, and they're paying him $46 million. And Todd Monken's like, oh, I could save that. Okay, you go right on ahead. You go right on. I've been right 3 times before. Why not a 4th? Okie doke. Yeah, I will gladly take Malik Willis. I will gladly take Shedeur Sanders. I am sick. Aren't you guys sick and tired of wasting time? Not just talking about quarterbacks, talking about Deshaun Watson starting for this team. Because at least with the other guys, like Johnny Manziel was here for 2 years, and I know he's annoying on the internet. All you got to do is block him. He was here for 2 years, done. Other guys, like it was a fart in the wind. Here we are, and even when they eventually cut him, they'll still be paying on the contract. You think I'm sad now? Wait until they somehow kick that can down the road. Wait until they convert his contract for the year from $46 million to $1 million to sign Malik Willis. So then I can really hope that Malik Willis does a great job. Because there's people going, well, they can't afford Malik Willis. And there's one way they can afford Malik Willis. I got one way they can do it. I just will go ahead, right? I mean, hell, if Andrew Berry ain't going to be here by the time the freight is due, what's the point, right? 216-474-0092. You agree with me, by the way, the biggest waste of time out of all 3 is Deshaun?
Yeah, obviously, Deshaun, of all the guys, had at one point the most talent and had played by far the best. That's 5 years ago now.
Yeah.
I mean, and he's how many injuries?
Troy Aikman had the most talent out of all 4 guys, and he played by far the best. That was 20-something years ago.
Now, if Todd Monken's interviewing for the Browns job and telling them, I know I can get Deshaun, I can get him right back there. If he's telling the Browns that, is it any wonder why he got hired?
I mean, I hope I'm wrong, but I hoped I was wrong 3 times before. I ended up being right 3 times before. Maybe the 4th time's the charm. You got something to say in there before we go to the phones?
You keep saying it's 5 years. It's way more than 5 years ago. The Chiefs hadn't won a Super Bowl yet. The last time that Deshaun Watson was a top 5 quarterback in the league. Mm-hmm. That was a dynasty ago.
Mm-hmm.
The league's already moved on and started doing different things.
He's right. Greg in Macedonia, you're next up on the Fan. Hello, Greg.
Hey, good morning, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
I'm glad to have you, Greg. Go right on ahead.
I got a question for you guys. A couple questions, if you guys will allow me.
Yeah.
First thing, Malik Willis, you said the Browns would have to sign him for like $35 million. Is that right?
I've seen 25 to 30 for a couple of years.
25 to 30, right? For a couple of years.
Yeah, Ben Solik said $30 million. He said right now. Right now.
Okay. Okay, understood. So you already have Deshaun. First of all, why would the Browns do something like that when you got Deshaun Watson under contract for $46 million, right? And you need other pieces and parts on this football team to obviously get better. Would you guys agree with that?
Yeah, I have an answer for that. Because I kind of just said it, I think.
Well, they said they're not going to be signing a bunch of veterans, so don't think they're going to go crazy in free agency.
Yeah, just a few of them, I guess, and then you go through the draft and try to, fill in mostly on the offensive side of the ball. And you figure over the last 6 years under Stefanski, what quarterback other than Baker Mayfield was successful?
Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco had success. Joe Flacco had success.
He had moments with Jacoby Brissett.
Joe Flacco had success. Yeah, but I understand what you're saying there.
Yeah, exactly. So Deshaun Watson, you're right. It's been a while, but he didn't hit this wall until he got under Stefanski like other quarterbacks did. And you had 13, 14, if I'm wrong, 14 or 15 quarterbacks. And Baker was the only one that actually had some little success, and then even he leaves out of here with some kind of trepidation against Stefanski. So I guess what I'm saying, guys, is it doesn't make sense to bring in Malik Willis and give him $40 million when you already got a veteran who's already proven that he can play at this level, Deshaun Watson, under a different system, maybe under Todd Monken's system, and you got Shador, a young bull who really obviously didn't get a fair shot under Stefanski as well. So it just doesn't make sense. And I don't think the Browns would ever go that route, guys, because it just doesn't fit. I mean, it doesn't make sense. Why would you waste all this money on Malik Willis?
Why would they waste all that money on Deshaun Watson? I mean, they will absolutely.
Ken, that's already been done.
Yeah,
but he's here.
Well, no, they're still doing it. Like, they will absolutely waste money on a quarterback. They are not afraid to waste money on taking risks on QBs.
I don't think they'll do that under this circumstance. I think they'll run with what they got right now. Try to trade. Maybe Gabriel can go with Stefanski. I mean,
I got to tell you, that's why I got to. Well, maybe. And Greg, thank you for the call. That's why I got to disagree with you. They will throw money in the toilet over quarterbacks. They've already done it, and they'll continue to do it if they feel that quarterback's the right guy for them. They're obsessed with it. I mean, the reason they would go after Willis and waste, quote unquote, waste the $30 million a year is because exactly what Lima told me about. Well, what are you going to do with You're going to waste more time of Myles Garrett's career and Denzel Ward's career? They have one of the best defenses in the NFL. So they feel that they're halfway there. And if they believe that Malik Willis is that guy, then fine. They do not care about throwing money down the toilet for a quarterback. We started 2021 in this entire fiasco because they were thinking about paying Baker Mayfield, $300 million.
And trying to pounce, though, immediately. They were trying to capitalize on what they thought was a Super Bowl window. We were all in agreement that we thought it was.
If they think they have a quarterback, they will throw money and power at that guy as best they can. And that's why I think that Deshaun Watson is the biggest waste of time out of all the three. Because if he even tantalizes them a little bit, well, who knows what they're willing to do because they've already given up so much to bring him in, and they might be willing to say, well, maybe he's able to do it before, maybe he's able to do it again, even though it would have been 5 years, or as Owen even specified, and I love this, over 5 years since he's been a great quarterback, one of the top 5 QBs in the league. I mean, you're reaching a point now. How old is he, 30? He ain't that old yet. But you're reaching a point with all the injuries and things. I mean, we're talking about a dinosaur here. But because they're paying him so much money, they're going to give him a crack. Jordan in Akron. Jordan, hello.
Hey, what's going on, Ken and Anthony? Hey. Thanks for you allowing me on the show. Appreciate
Glad to have you. Glad to have you. Go right on ahead, Jordan.
Yeah, no, my biggest gripe with this is, of course, we're in a terrible state in football, but there's other teams out there. Prime example is Jacksonville and Trevor Lawrence, everyone's favorite quarterback, right?
Not mine.
It was a joke.
Okay.
It was a joke. But no. If Jacksonville can believe in this bum, and he had his first winning season, this year? The first time they went to the playoffs?
Oh, they went to the playoffs with Doug Peterson.
Yeah, they did go. I think this is the second trip they've had, right?
He's also threw for 4,000 yards twice. Like he had a 25 touchdown, 8 interception year, year.
Another quarterback threw for 4,000 yards before, right?
Yep, we had Baker Mayfield, and he did the same thing for us.
But you call him a bum.
Watson did it.
Is he a bum?
No, I'm not saying he's a bum. I'm saying is this. We don't need to keep talking about quarterbacks. We have Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders. We have Todd Monken, who took Lamar Jackson, who was a phenomenal quarterback, ergo Watson, to MVP levels. You know? Now, even if as an MVP overpaid backup, Ford has a chance. But let's build up this offensive line who hasn't been right since Joe Thomas. You know? We haven't had a healthy O-line since –
they've had a good offensive line. They've had a really good offensive line up until
good and healthy.
This last
things. Your best ability is availability.
Well, yeah,
if
but even
best players unavailable.
Yeah, but you go back to 2020. I mean, they were a really good offensive line, and they were able to plug and play some of those guys. But I mean, I don't want to bog it down. Investing in the other guys is still investing in the position. So I'm fine with investing in the position. So I don't want to get it all twisted and say, well, you know, we need to invest in Watson. We need to invest in Shedeur. We need to invest in Dylan Gates. Well, I'm not investing, but you get what I'm saying. I'm investing in the position. If none of those guys can do it, then I'm going to find somebody who can. When it comes to Deshaun Watson, I'm just tired of trying to shake any water in the bottle that's left out. I don't think there's anything in there. I think it's over.
I agree.
Okay.
Agree. That's why I said backup for Deshaun. Let's focus on 12. Let's build up this offense. Let's find a left tackle. DeJuan Jones can't stay healthy. We need to find an offensive line. Jerry Jeudy drops McGee.
Let's
get some receivers.
That's one of my major concerns. Let me tell you this, Jordan. And Jordan,
Jeudy could be like a number 3 for us.
Thank you for the call.
Be a good number 3, right?
Well, there's another thing here. Yeah. Are you guys paying attention to the Will Campbell stuff over in New England?
Yeah.
So Mike Vrabel said just yesterday that they're keeping him at left tackle. There's a conversation about moving him. I mean, this is a 4th or 5th overall pick in 2025. Was he 4th or 5th? Still top 5. I know he was a top 5 pick. And we're talking about moving him around. Like, this ain't no guarantee, guys. And I'm going to continue to say it. Like, this is something that I'm nervous about and afraid of. I don't think you're going to be able to find a guy who is right off the rip. They're going to have to play whoever they draft at number 6 overall. They're going to have to plug him in and play him literally. But I don't know if that guy's going to be a plug-and-play guy. I mean, any one of these names, we are thinking about other positions for these guys. So I got to warn everybody right now. I hope if they take Spencer Fano, he ends up being the next Joe Thomas or Joel Bitonio, and the same thing can be said for CeCe Mauanoa and a host of the rest of them. But I can't expect that going in. So the whole Jed Wills, I think there's more Jed Wills out there than there are Tristan Wirfses.
Yeah. By the way, caller slipped in there. I keep hearing caller slipped it in. This is kind of similar to when people say, oh, James Harden and Atkinson didn't get along, and it's like, he never played for him.
He said that?
No, people have said that. Oh. That caller just said Monken took him to an MVP level. He had won an MVP already with the previous offensive coordinator.
Who was that?
Lamar Jackson.
Oh, yeah.
He had won an MVP in 2019.
Greg Roman.
Yeah, Greg Roman.
Mm-hmm.
People think that he experienced all this new success that he had never had before. It's like, no, he actually was amazing.
Yeah, but you sell yourself on a guy that they just hired. And did he win an MVP with the guy they just hired? Well, then maybe that's what he meant.
It's pretty similar. His numbers pre-Monken were pretty similar post-Monken.
John and Westlake, you're next up on the Fan.
I think the bottom line is the toll has to be paid for the big swing and miss with Deshaun Watson. I mean, you can't keep throwing money in the quarterback room. Last year and this year, you're just going to have to bite the bullet and go with what you got and go out there. You got to refill a lot of positions on the offensive line, wide receiver. I mean, there's just the toll is due, and Barry trying to continue to outsmart everybody and try to make up for the mistake that was made is just continuing the perpetual losing of the team.
Well, that's not what is outsmarting about trying to elevate your quarterback position. That's what every team is trying to do every year. I don't think that's trying to outsmart anybody.
Well, I think he's trying to prove that that they can get around this somehow, and throwing another $30 million into that quarterback room is not going to help anybody. And just like you said, Anthony.
So don't think there's any way they can?
Probably is going to wash out in the next 2 years.
Yeah, you don't think there's any quarterback out there that's better than Shedeur Sanders?
Yeah, I'm sure there are, but you have to pay the toll for what you paid for Deshaun Watson at some point. You can't keep throwing money into that room and we saw what that looked like. We had a championship type.
I think I know what John. I think I agree with you. Yeah, I think I agree with you because say you bring in John. Thank you for the call. Say you bring in Malik Willis. Well, how do I pay Malik Willis $30 million a year? "Quote unquote," backloading the contract, whatever. All right. Well, then maybe I can get out from underneath this Deshaun Watson stuff, but I don't want to be in a situation where I can't pay any of the guys that I've drafted recently who are good. I don't want to be in a situation where I'm stuck there or kicking the can down the road. I eventually have to pay this off and get out from underneath Deshaun Watson's contract. And I think what John is saying is it ends up being more of the same. Now, I can't guarantee that kicking Deshaun Watson's contract down the road is going to make it just easy enough to sign Malik Willis. I don't know that. That's a Jack Duffin question. But it would be one of the things that you think of. But do I want to keep kicking this thing down the road where it's been 5 years now? How long are we going to continue to talk about it? Is he going to turn into the Bobby Bonilla of the Cleveland Browns? Are we going to keep doing this? Eventually, it all comes to a head. Austin Hooper, you just got over his contract. He was playing in the
Super Bowl, yeah.
How long's it been since we had Austin Hooper?
He was open. May couldn't get it to him.
Another offensive miss by Andrew Berry. How long are we going to be doing it on the David Njoku contract? How long are we going to be doing it on some of the other contracts? Yes, like eventually these bills do come due, and whoever ends up being the quarterback of the future, whether that guy's in college right now or that guy's in high school right now for whatever we know, we want to be able to put something around him, and the good guys that we've drafted, we want to be able to hold on to those guys. Coming up next, I thought we were friends, Brian. Hoyer's taking shots at me on other shows. Ken Carman, Anthony Lima on the Fan.
Anthony Lima.
mean, I get the point you're trying to make, but to me, it's more of what Sam Darnold didn't do over what he did do. And I do think with that team and the way that game was played, I do think there's a lot of quarterbacks, but I don't want to take away from Sam Darnold either. And so I don't know, in that scenario, in that situation, does Shedeur try to make a play? Does Deshaun try to make a play when the best play is to take a sack? I don't know that, but I do see what you're saying. Like,
just be mean, Brian. If you don't agree, don't patronize. Just be mean. That's Brian Hoyer with us yesterday.
Well, he was a little meaner.
And then he got mean, and now he can't even call in because he's at a doctor's appointment. Go ahead, hit it.
Sam Darnold, I had to answer questions on Cleveland radio yesterday. They thought there was 40 quarterbacks that could have won that Super Bowl game playing for the Seahawks. And I think that's straight out disrespectful to Sam Darnold because it's what he didn't do in that game. And by not turning the football over against that defense is what won them that football game.
I'm not trying to be disrespectful.
Some big fat guy in Cleveland tried to...
I didn't see you over there. No, oh gee. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful to Sam Darnold. I said that game, that one, that only. Not that anybody could have quarterbacked the Seahawks all year, guys. Forget it. What's the point?
He was a little meaner, that's all.
Sam Darnold, I had to answer questions on Cleveland radio yesterday. They thought there was 40 quarterbacks that could have won that Super Bowl game.
What show is this?
Did they have any reaction?
Barstool.
He's on He said that on Barstool.
I don't know because it's at the end of the clip.
Oh, the Stoolies. I wanted to hear what they were thinking about it.
Don't.
We've had one of their guys on before.
Who?
Think he works for them anymore?
I don't think so. The Boston dude.
Oh,
when we did
Greenberg.
Our Greenberg and Golick show.
It's one of the greatest things ever. The day after Golick and Greenberg ended, Mike and Mike ended.
The Mike and Mike show ended. So on the very day that they were ending, we had a Golick and we had a Greenberg. We had Bob Golick and we had some dude in Boston.
He was the fifth Greenberg that I reached out to.
And like 3 people thought it was the funniest thing ever.
The best thing
and
was
no one else.
When I called him to put him on hold for the segment, he figured it out. He goes, I saw you guys had Bob Golick earlier.
Guys.
So I know what because it was about the Celtics and we were not playing the Celtics.
He knew what it was. He was like, I like your little bit you're doing. I'm going to have to reach out to Jeff Lowe, big Browns fan. He's on Barstool, does the movies. I'm going to have to be like, Jeff, it's not what I meant. It's not what I meant, Jeff. I feel like Uncle Leo. Stop the show!
Sam Darnold, I had to answer questions on Cleveland radio yesterday. They thought there was 40 quarterbacks that could have won that Super Bowl game.
I mean, he's disgusted.
Just say me.
He's disgusted that he
woke
just
up
to come on our radio show.
Just say Ken thought. Just say.
And now
you just said a fat guy thought. I don't care.
He painted the broadest of brushes about Cleveland sports and Cleveland media.
Oh my God!
So now the Stoolies. They're going to think all of Cleveland media thinks that.
Matter. That doesn't matter.
Portnoy is going to be all over this.
Oh, my God. Hopefully Stu doesn't find out about it. If Stu finds out about it and he's upset, I will be destroyed.
We wanted Stu to be a weekly contributor. We just couldn't make the numbers work.
Yeah, I know, but
he's a numbers guy.
He is a numbers guy. Certain numbers.
He'll kill your bookmaker.
You want to tell the people the numbers, Kenny?
Don't worry about that. Just don't let Stu find out, okay? I love Stu Feiner. Just don't let Stu find out. Oh, my God. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful.
And yet, you were.
By the way, people are hating on Shedeur way too much right now. I just tweeted.
Let him take over the YouTube chat.
What we had talked about
for a long time.
I think this is getting ridiculous.
Let them have their moment.
I asked an honest question: if Malik Willis is rumored to get $25 or $30 million a year for 2 years, if Shedeur Sanders was on the open market, what would he get? And people are all sending me what the league minimum is. They're sending me other jobs not in football.
Read Zach Jackson's tweet to you. I saw that.
I haven't seen it.
He said a lot of bad TV and radio segments.
Oh, come on.
That's what he said. That's what Zach wrote.
The pile-on is ridiculous right now. Shador's going to get a chance. Monken said he's going to get a chance.
The media writes things like that, and then we sit there and go, I can't believe they think that all the media is against him. Well, I mean, you guys write what you write. It's blamed right on you. Sam Darnold did a tremendous job, and he's a really good quarterback. But I thought that the Seattle Seahawks were so dominant that you could have put a lot of quarterbacks back there and done what they did. He didn't have to. There was very little pressure on Sam Darnold in that football game. That's the only point I was making. I was not trying to be disrespectful to Sam Darnold. Quite the opposite. What?
It's the second time in his NFL career, I guess it was kind of prior to his NFL career, that you've disparaged his name.
I didn't disparage his name. They told me flat out they were going to draft the guy.
He was using a patsy.
That's not a disparaging comment.
Said, I don't know. I guess they're going to draft this Sam Darnold.
No, that's not how I said it. That's not how I said it. Remember, I wanted Sam Darnold, and so I was happy. And so they told me, and I didn't realize I was being used as a pawn, as a patsy. And then the guy who used me as a pawn and as a patsy was out, at the end of the year or the next year? You made me do this, you bitch! I signed up for another movie.
You better get the part.
I don't know what part it would be.
Are you the protagonist or the antagonist?
I don't know what it would be.
Because apparently I'm the bad boy.
They wanted a headshot, and they wanted my name and my age, and I sent them all there.
Johnny Fontaine doesn't get that part. Ken Carman
and then he said,
gets that part.
Here's my headshot.
Check my ass out. Why do you have a soundboard of stupid things I say?
You say a lot of stupid things. Gives me a lot of opportunities.
We got the Beards homecoming.
You call Keith Britton and tell him I ain't no band leader.
We have the Cavaliers who are, is this right? Are they 17.5-point favorites tonight? Come on. Let's go.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to have their beards. 20,000 of these in the building.
I got my beard.
Baby, I'm on my Harden honeymoon right now. I'm ready to go.
It's amazing. The whole season has changed.
There you go.
In a matter of a week.
Yes, Mary Kay joins us tomorrow morning, 8:20. Is this garbage that she's written about Deshaun Watson? Sure, okay, that's not going to ask for that. Also, we'll go over hopefully a big win over the Washington Wizards for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Is this the end of the show to play us out? I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
10 the show. We're back tomorrow morning, 6 to 10. For Big Country, for Jeff, for Meredith, for the Slippery Wizard, Anthony Lima, for Brian Hoyer, I'm Ken Carman. Have a wonderful day, my friends. Go Cavs.
Bring your beards.
Go Cavs.
Facial hair beards. You know what I mean.